swayed here because Paramount Skydance is offering more money. Maybe the board doesn't want to accept it, but basically the shareholders may have a say, especially at these general meetings. So we're going to have to wait and see. I don't think it's a done deal at all. Just because Warner Brothers is not liking it from the board level doesn't mean the shareholders are not going to like it. So any comment that you want to add there before we send it to the big boys?
No, I think I've said my piece there. Thank you again for joining us here. One more day left in the week, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
For the midday, and then hopefully Joey O will be back next Monday. We do wish him a speedy recovery there. And
Joey.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. Back to the big boys. But first, I think we're going to dinner.
Well, on Watch Your Apple, before we go back, I'm seeing reports suggesting that Tim Cook is not immediately expected to step down as CEO of Apple. That's not super surprising here, but again, Bloomberg reporting that Apple CEO Tim Cook is not expected to immediately resign or step down as the CEO of Apple. As reported a while back, the top contender for Tim Cook, whenever he does decide to step down, is very likely John Turnus, who is an executive at Apple who already reports to Cook. Back to you. Or show.
I mean, I didn't even know that was a story.
Well, I guess that's what this wick is in on Apple there.
That wick? I mean, that's not even...
No, it's not. Look, it's not much of anything, but to the extent that maybe that's what it is. By the way, look, but welcome back, everybody. The previous discussion just now, I know we were talking about that Tesla and the follow car and this and that. I have to presume that was what was up with Rivian, which did have a move. Okay. Like Rivian was going down on the entire move up in Tesla most of the day, and then you caught this big bounce. So maybe it was that Tesla headline or I guess update that Sharif was mentioning with the follow car that it got a bit of a bounce in Rivian. It's going to be on my radar, though. Like the way it rejected VWAP, I wasn't even paying attention to Rivian until that. And if there's going to be shorts, I mean, IBIT, I'm in IBIT. Yeah, my mic's doing a pitch sound. Sorry. I'm just in Bitcoin, which we've been short. Now I'm muted. Okay, now we're back. Is that good? Okay. Yeah, so we're going to be looking at Rivian in some IBIT. The IPO was not worth taking the open, is my opinion, but there was an opportunity to kind of fade it back in. The bigger IPOs are coming. We got one tomorrow, potentially. Weird that it would be a Friday. And we got a couple next week. What are you eating there, Randy? Like, what is
Danish.
Oh, it's a Danish. Okay, I couldn't even tell. Is it good?
In support of Greenland, he's eating a Danish.
Nice.
See, Randy, I'm all over this, man.
Danish.
Don't worry. I'm built for this, or not. Yeah, I'm still long Palantir and long Google. Welcome everybody back, and yeah, what a great story there for Tesla. And I said this even yesterday. I was like, in one day, Tesla can make everything all the way back and make it feel all good again. Randy, as FSD now in Austin driverless, I think that's the report there. So we're now for robo-taxis now throwing around in Austin. So 448.25 right there. Yeah, 448. Yeah, it's high. It's almost got to 500. It got to 490-ish right there. Nice little pullback in. Now up to 448, up 3.6% right now for Tesla. So I think it breaks the top and continues to go here. So good. Again, this is a name, something I took from Obi there. Good structure right now. Back in, bounced off the same levels twice. Trying to break through here. If we break through there, the next level is to break through 448. So 448.25. Here we go again for Tesla. Yeah, look, market, another one of those days where we go up and down again. So, we're going to talk about the names you guys want to. Tonight, we, of course, do have, that's so interesting about Apple, their, sign of CEO candidacy. We'll figure out where Apple's going to go. But Intel is going to be on people's minds heading into the close. So 54 back to flat, sort of where we were yesterday, 54.50. We haven't really been higher than where we are right now. So watch out for this break, I guess, as well for Intel. With the day getting, a little short in the tooth here, an hour and a half left or so before these earnings drop. I mean, 2 hours, but we've got the imbalances and everything. This could be a trade. People really are nervous about their shorts and wondering what's going on with Intel. If they weren't able to cover down here, I think they'll be looking to cover through. But there's a lot of traders, like myself included, that still have a lot of long rate here today on Intel. Yeah, so I looked at JP Morgan earlier. Thanks for the question there. Control, Alt, Escape. What have I done? Yeah, I mean, this is, for me, this is kind of the trades that we do, right? I mean, we looked at yesterday, we looked at Intel on the top side, then made that nice little level, and we're able to short that off 54 yesterday. And this looks like a great long. So yeah, I would stamp this for sure. My only concern is the market is, where's VWAP? Okay, yeah, so no, I think that's fine. Yeah, so I like JP Morgan there. You know, checking out XLF, let's just see if the rest of the bank systems stocks are similarly set up. Yeah, so good bounce off VWAP. Yeah, so perfect. So one VWAP test. Come on, there it is. One VWAP test there, another one, and now we bounce. Yeah, so great call out there. Control Alt Escape for JP Morgan. That's why we want you guys and gals, everybody in the chat, ASAP. Help guys like me and Neil out here. We can't find them all. Shout out to ASAP Rocky, but was on Saturday Night Live last week. Yeah, so 304.50.
Best SNL host ever.
Who is the best?
I'm guessing. Who do you think?
He wasn't a host.
No, I'm just. Who would you say?
Donald Trump. That was hilarious when he hosted. Elon was great when he hosted. Best host ever, I would have to think. I mean, there's so many guys. Like Steve Martin's a great host. He's in the 5-time club
to me
as well.
I was gonna say he's like the chalk choice. Eddie coming back.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks pretty good.
Eddie is great. Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle was.
He's okay.
The thing is, you have to compare. You have to compare it to like what you always appreciate out of Chappelle. It's like it wasn't his best. I'll do one up because you said the 5-minute or the 3-minute or the 1-minute on JPM looks good. I would argue the 15-minute also looks good on JP Morgan. Double bot. Like look at the last 3 sessions on JP Morgan. Capitulation bottom. Sorry. You can see I'm literally fighting the sneeze the whole way. No, capitulation bottom. Hold the low. Break the top. Where do we dip into? Dip into prior highs. Anytime you have confluence like that where resistance turned into support, it looks good. The trend is good on the daily chart, so everything about that looks pretty bullish. I would say this, and I still prefer, if you're looking at the banks, I prefer like the Morgans and the Goldmans in this world right now. Like this is following trend even after earnings. They have impressive earnings as well, but I think related to the trading game and the investment banking game, it's all about deals and it's all about IPOs and it's all about trading this year. So Morgan and Goldman, I'd go first. They're still holding trend. Let's get into the rundown. Don't know what's going to be on there today, but the only thing I'm certain about is probably Intel will be one of the 5.
Yeah, I'd say probably, yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked and they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the Afternoon Rundown with CNI is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to throw in that $sign before you guys vote. So make sure to vote and to join us every single day in the chat. Let's look at all 4 major averages, guys. They are all green, starting here with the triple Qs up 0.85. The SPY a little bit lower, up 0.75%. And then knocking on the door of 1% point on the day is the DIA, the Dow Jones ETF. But leading the way yet again, the small cap heavy ETF IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF, of course. Let's look though at the first ticker as decided by you, TSLA by a country mile. No surprise there. We're hearing that might be some robotaxi, unsupervised robotaxi taking place right now in Austin.
Yeah, we did hear that it's been taking place in Austin currently, and I honestly don't know how the shares are still doing like the way they are despite the news that has been broken out, which is good. Also, the SpaceX IPO is going to be, we're waiting for that,
huge.
And you know the market, it's going to react to literally anything. And I think one of the things that also I'm seeing in an investor business daily report here is that SpaceX is looking to raise around $30 billion in the IPO. So very, very excited about that.
And we were talking about OpenAI, of course, being a possible $1 trillion valuation when it comes to market. SpaceX, one of those guys. Tesla up 3 2/3 on the day, closing in on day's high.
Yeah, I just want to know what. Man, I think that's when we're going to be excited about this IPO. I just want to know when it's going to be. None of this. What was the one today? BitGo. Yay, BitGo.
Oh yeah, what did BTGO do?
Tanked.
Did it? Okay.
Well, okay. Okay. It tanked after the move.
It opened at. What did it open at? 22.
Tanked. Here, let's just. I'm going to do the IPO first.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be. It's not.
Is the IPO on the list, Sharif, or no? Is Bitcoin
Not Katina,
okay?
man. Should I put it on?
No, we're doing it now anyway.
Okay,
That's
all
all
right.
right.
I was sitting here like watching. I was never going to take the opening print, but I watched it kind of tank off the open. So if you took the opening print, you probably got rinsed, and then there was no real clear hold. You could argue when it broke out the open price, that was good. I just waited for it to get down through an even dollar level. I was like, I'm just going to play the short. So when it broke underneath the first even dollar, like that 22, like lost the open price, 22 held for 3 minutes, and then took one short trade. There. As far as Tesla goes, my only concern, look, actually, no, I don't really have this. The story about this follow car thing, I'm not terribly worried about that. I mean, ultimately, nobody expects complex systems to be, well, I mean, some people expect them to be perfect right away. So like Sharif was saying, if it's not controlling the vehicle and you're just sort of faking that it's autonomous, like that would be the concern. If it was just observing, then that's no big deal. So the positive headline is exactly what you wanted to see. You wanted to see Optimus, which is something Elon talked about, and elder care being important and being a huge market for that, and you want to see autonomy. And this is what's happening for Tesla. So it's great. I think 450 is going to be the next hurdle. It bounced off 420. I kind of felt maybe we'd see the 400s instead of the 420 level, but 420 seems to be undefeated for this stock. It's going to close today above the 50-period moving average, so that takes it out of the penalty box today, barring some kind of a crazy look. We still have obviously 2 hours to go here, but barring something crazy, it's going to close over the 50 period on the daily, and then we can start thinking about play inside of this range. Then we get the breakout through, I think it'll be 460 upcoming next week. Fridays are always tough for breakouts of levels like this, so I don't necessarily anticipate it tomorrow. But I think Tesla, for me, it's out of the penalty box. Got to start looking for those longs again. And this afternoon, I'm fading Rivian at VWAP because it's kind of doing the opposite.
You would like that trade right here, but if someone had handed you $1.25 million a trade, would your process change or just your upside? That's the opportunity Funded Futures Network provides. They're a futures prop firm that gives traders access to large SIM and live funded accounts every single day. They've already paid millions to traders around the world with fast same-day and daily payouts. And right now, evaluation accounts are 50% off, buy one, get one free, and no activation fees. You can find the link below or scan the QR code on your screen to find out more about the Funded Futures Network. Just quickly, I'm getting out some Google right here as it's made a nice little move higher. Looks like it wants to go here as well. Now $2 in the money off that one, but that's the same trade as before. We'll talk about that as this day goes on. And then we're also, just to give you guys an update, Palantir actually being right here right now. Let's offer a 98. Nice move up into the 200 period. We've been getting out on this. We got a nice little dip buy opportunity right there at 1230. Put that on, and then it goes there to the upside. Good to hear. I just did take Tesla here, so here we go. New position right now for me, it's Tesla. Let's see what winds up happening here. I took it breaking that most recent high of the day. Look, I like the story. I think it works. Clearly it is. And we're going to go higher right now. We're long at 40. We just took some out there at 68 or whatever. I hit off rent or whatever we got right there. So nice little move. We get out of 10%. And here we go again. It's Tesla trying to moon. Let's get out of another 5% or so at 80s. There it is. We got that. So we get the 80s mark. And here it goes, man. It's Tesla. And it's Moon City right now. Let's see what winds up happening, taking out those highs. Look, I said yesterday we liked Tesla for news possibility. We heard yesterday, the reaction to Trump, the reaction to Davos and everything like that. And then there's the reaction right there to robotaxi. And, we always say this is no longer a car company. They're focused on the robotaxis. They're focused on FSD. And all you can talk about seemingly like is Optimus. So we're just going to wait. I mean, this could be a loser. We're already out of 20% there. We'll wait to see. And it's small. We're just going to wait for about 447, something like that. Didn't take a lot of shares. Let's just see if this one can work out into into the close, and maybe as we continue to run higher here, Tesla. Obviously, it's just going to dance around here, but a little bit of volume just spiked through there on the high break of the day. So let's be careful with it. It's not super exciting right now in this market, so we just got to sort of hold on right now. I mean, the Nasdaq is yeah, it's kind of just hanging out. So we'll respect some Tesla here and see what winds up happening. I don't think we'll average into it. Let's just see if it wants to go higher here.
After yesterday, it's kind of hard to expect it to be the fireworks. Like, we literally had fireworks with the president a couple of times, like, in the morning and then in the afternoon. It's just, there was a heck of a lot. There was a Truth Social tweet, there was the one-on-one interview, there was the speech. So we've had a lot of things that are moving the market. Today is a nice calm, I'll take a nice calm 1% day.
Yeah, we'll take
Like, if you, like, that's perfectly
Okay,
fine. Just doesn't mean we're going to have the same move. But a couple of names that I think are going to be next are definitely movers this afternoon. I'm guessing I'm pretty sure we're going to a stock that begins with an M. That's about it.
An M?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
You guys are right. Meta is next. I see it on your screen, Neil. You already knew what was going on there. All right, let's talk about Meta. It's on pace. We don't really know what's going to happen at the close for the largest percentage increase for the stock since July of last year. And part of the reason why is Jeffries over here with a positive note on Meta, basically laying out 5 reasons they think you should be buying the pullback. Number 1, they're saying it's an attractive risk to reward at the current discount to Alphabet. 2, they view it as a moderate downside to estimates and strong upside potential. 3, they're saying the AI hires are set to deliver in 26. And 4, continued momentum for Meta's core flywheel, which is powered by AI, of course. And last but not least, they're saying accelerating activation of major incremental revenue engines, including WhatsApp. We covered that on the midday show. So interesting. Do you use Threads, by the way?
I used to use Threads. I have uninstalled Instagram for now, and I'm really happy with that. But another thing though, Meta, negative news, Meta is, as we know it, on trial in New Mexico for allegedly failing to protect the minors from sexual exploitation.
Yes.
But Meta has requested to exclude certain information from that as well, which is really shady. And nothing new, Mark Zuckerberg. Sorry.
Interesting.
That's what I feel.
All right, boys. Meta is up 5 1/3 on the day. What is your look?
I just did a channel check in my WhatsApp with my dad, who's always sending me things that he thinks I will find interesting. And of the last 10 messages, usually it's all YouTube stuff. Of the last 10, it's 6 YouTube, and it's 3 Threads and 1 Instagram. So at least somebody's trying to keep Threads alive. And he's the only person I'm aware of that is doing that. I don't forget about all those other reasons. I like one of those reasons, and one of them is going to be the fact that it's getting cheap relative to some of its peers. So that's good. Much like Tesla, much like Tesla is going to close above the 50 period here for Meta on the daily, but unlike Tesla, that doesn't necessarily take it out of the penalty box because someone's selling the you-know-what out of this at the 200 period moving average. So I think it requires that. To get out of Dodge. If you hadn't, if you hadn't done a DCA underneath the 200 period moving average, then yeah, this wouldn't be a bad place to do at least one. But ultimately, this is still, the battle's gonna get waged here about $20 or $25 from now when it gets into the 70s and the mid to high 70s on Meta. Afternoon trade, if the market's not doing much, this is now pretty much, if you look at the top end, this is exactly what the Nasdaq is doing at the top end. There's almost no difference, slight pullback back into the highs. So it's more or less following the market this afternoon. But I'm not completely convinced that all is good with Meta until we see the 200 period on the daily. That's when I'll get a little more excited. I want to see it above that mark.
We reloaded a little bit lower here on Tesla. So now we're at 70 cents in the money off of that dip buy as well. So just an average price coming through right now. Let's see if Meta can continue, if Tesla can continue to climb higher. Yeah, look, man, I don't have any problem with any of their products or anything the way Meta works. Obviously, I'm not a Threads guy either, but it looks like it's pretty good breaking through this 647.35 area. So I think this is going to be a great little spot to break out on Meta. It's up 5% here. If the market actually can, we're long Tesla, which I think is a better long, but if you can break out right into there, I think that's a great look. It's been waiting for this day. This is the largest move. You got to go back to November, and I think even today is bigger. So, back-to-back days. Let's see if it can continue, right? The last time it had a nice candle like this with news, we had a continuation up to the 200 period. So if I was swinging Meta right now, I would be looking in and around here for a top, right? If we can get back to the 200, we hit it, we dropped both times. So I'd say 670 to 675 there for Meta would be the longer-term target, and that's possibly tomorrow. So Meta right there, good trade. For those of you that stuck with it, congratulations. Meta looks like it wants to work, and why not? So, and it's been bad. It's been bad. It's gotten hit, and you know, you've had to wait this one out. So if you were able to step in front of 600 now twice, you've been rewarded both times. One time was with about 12 or 13%. Let's see if you can get a little bit more right here. Then META, I'd say 800 incoming if it's a good report.
I like it, Sean. I like to hear that. All right, couple of analyst notes today on Micron, MU. Stifel initiating coverage with an outperform rating. They also upgraded Datadog, but that's not relevant for our purposes. Also, they got love here from William Blair, also with an outperform rating. So a couple of analyst upgrades here for MU, which is up 1 1/3.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm seeing here. And shares are volatile right now. That's all I can say for that. Yep.
All right, guys, I see that Micron is up 1.4, but there's another memory name that's not doing so hot today.
SNDK is not doing very well today, is the one that I believe you're talking about, Sharif. But Micron would be the one that, oh, we're still sitting there. I feel like this would be, like, have a look at this from VWAP. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a potential 5th time on trend from the volume weighted average price for Micron. Now, it absolutely dumped off the open, as you can see. You could consider this a failed test of the 400 level, right? Because you got up to 400, pulled back heavily, lots of selling on the test of 400. So if we cannot close breaking, whoops, let me zoom in, you can see better. If we can't break this top, I think this is an afternoon trend break on Micron, which is in play. But as you said and indicated, if you're looking in the memory space, it is SNDK, which is currently weaker. It just doesn't really have a setup for me that Micron kind of does if we're able to break down that trend line. Still feel like this will be the bigger one on earnings. So Micron doesn't report till the end of the earnings cycle. SNDK reports next week. So if we're talking about the first shoe to drop on the memory space during earnings season, it's these guys. So possibly a trade here in Micron if it breaks trend, but SNDK next week will not be boring, I promise you that. And that might actually end up being the most volatile earnings name of the week. There's bigger names than SNDK, but I don't think there's going to be a bigger move.
Yeah, I had Micron written down here today as a second trade. Obviously, number one is going to be Google. That's going to be a huge trade. But right here on the sticky note, we have Micron. Watch out for that 400 long break. I still stay confident with that. It's just got to get up there. Obviously, it had that dip down during the open show or the open. But, this is William Blair, outperform rating. Obviously, there's a memory super cycle right there. So, yeah, we were on Micron right from the jump. It's too bad that it didn't really give us. I was still waiting for 449 here on Tesla. And if it winds, like we're up on the name, if it winds up coming down, we're stopping out at 447 break. But, yeah, Micron, again, pretty good. Let's just forget about, like, this is what I think, this and that. Let's just go over what happened. So Micron came in, and there's the trade right down here. It based out many times down at 378. So that, lots of opportunity to get long down there, lots. And then even into here, even as if you miss that bottom, it came in and gave you 382 3-4 times as well. So yeah, yesterday Micron was amazing because it just ran this VWAP the whole day. All the way. This VWAP is this blue line right here. So it just ran that the whole way through and right into here. Interesting as we're nowhere near VWAP, and I think it continues to push higher. Now, the 400 break is what it is. I don't think it gets there today, but, that's definitely on the radar tomorrow. It's just funny because we started the day up pretty good. We ran a little bit. We went down off the open, obviously. But the fact that we're still up 1%, I thought Micron had a good opportunity. If you told me the Nasdaq was going to be up 1% today, I would have thought we already broke 400. So interesting to have a look at Micron. So yeah, we'll continue to do that. Let's go back over to the desk. I think there's one more because I know there's Palantir on this list.
At least one more.
Is the next one here, up 1/3%. Phillips Securities initiating coverage on Palantir with a buy rating and a $208 price target. Their argument is, guys, that Palantir only captured about 2.4% of the $120 billion total addressable market. That's back in 2020. One must assume it's a larger TAM now. Also, we saw that their commercial revenue is projected to grow a little bit faster than their government revenue.
And definitely. Another thing that we also saw, like I feel a day or two ago, was that this is relevant here right now as well, is that the deal with the Korean company HD Hyundai that's going to be taking place is going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, is what's being said. And HD Hyundai, if you don't know, is operators in heavy industries like shipbuilding, not the car company.
Very interesting. Nice diversification there, boys. Not a whole lot of price action today on Palantir, but still up 1/3%.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Palantir gave you everything Micron did and maybe even more. Palantir, like, I finally learned the lesson of, you know, getting long off some sort of support, right? And, you know, this will be the only stock that I'm red now today, but this name here really dropped in, and I thought we were going to support Palantir on these upgrades today, but no, I think this is going to be in the penalty box until earnings, and they can actually prove, you know, this valuation. People are looking at PEs now, and this is going to be something that you're going to have to wait for, but what a great bottom there at 165, man. We liked it so much that when it came in, we had to take it again. So there it is, 165, bounced off there quite nicely. And on the daily, yeah, this is down 20%, right? Forget about, it never really got to 220. I was actually lucky to get some out during this madness, but you know, this is the real high, 210. Let's call it 210, 205, 208, whatever. So now you're down 40 points from that. So you're down about 20%, you know, so Palantir is in bear territory, and it's trying to hold the 200 period that's never been questioned. So we'll wait for that. Obviously, during April, that might have been a spot where the 200 period broke. But for right now, Palantir continues to be, you know, in my opinion, a great long-term buy and a great long-term hold. So if you can sort of stomach this pain right here, I still really like this 150 area for a hold. So I may add to the position of PLTR at some point. We added down here at 131 when it tanked right here on some sort of a rebalance, or maybe it was in June. Oh no, yeah, 130, yeah, it was right here. That turned out to be okay. That's never come in question yet, but still like Palantir holding off that 150 marker. Okay, here we go, man. It's another dollar club. It looks like we're trying to get going finally on Tesla. I'm just gonna offer a little bit out here in the 50s because we just bounced quite nicely on Tesla. So if I can get a piece out right here, watching my net, there it goes. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. There goes Tesla. Glad we at least talked about this one. Active trading. Okay, our position board keeps going off and on. We know why. We're trying to fix it. Until then, man, just bear with us. But there's Tesla. Nice move to the high side.
Yeah, Palantir's gonna have to wait another day. It was supposed to be this recovery day yesterday, and then this breakout over yesterday's high, which and we said this morning. 170. Technically, it's like $170 and like 20 cents or something like that. Either way, it went to 170 early and then kind of dumped. So I'm still waiting for it. Tomorrow, it's Friday. I don't love breakouts like this on Fridays, do an even dollar like that, big options level, but I still think it's going to be worth a shot. So Palantir 170 tomorrow, Palantir 170 breakout maybe on Monday, as long as it doesn't make a fresh low before we challenge that 170 price, and you know we'll go for it when it does. I believe we have one more to go. I'm going to go with something beginning with letter B.
Neil, this is becoming a nice little game. No, I want to update you on a couple of things. Paramount extends deadline on hostile Warner Brothers bid to the 20th of February. Separately, apparently Kansas, the state of Kansas, has introduced a bill to create a Bitcoin and crypto strategic reserve, something that we've been looking at for the federal level, happening here at the state level. Not law, though, just introduced into the Senate. NAMM is the next ticker here, Assassino, and it's up 78.75%, up into 522, trading at 4 right now. I really can't find a headline on this for the life of me. Are you able to find anything?
I honestly cannot find anything. Just like the stock was soaring today, and it's definitely been surging because they disclosed that they are acquiring multiple mineral exploration sites, propelling investor excitement. That's probably why the stock is acting crazy.
All right, guys, second day play. Big move yesterday off the lows. At the high, we were up 200%. Today, off the lows and into the high, we're up 176. Needless to say, very volatile.
Well, I was pretty convinced that it was going to be Big Bear AI, because I feel like that was, I mean, on my list when I look up, it's like number 5. No, but I'm trying to find the short float and the float on this one. And I do not see data from one source. What do we have here? Okay, so 5% short float, not even that big. Float's only 4 million. That'll do. That's a bit of a turnover here. So over 30 times the turnover. But I think the good thing about it is, we talked about this morning, and shout out to Luis for coming on here, is knowing which kind of small cappers are up your alley. I know for sure that they wouldn't be trying to short this one for multiple reasons. Above VWAP, breaks out the pre-market highs, even breaks out yesterday's highs. There's been nothing about this that has been bad. In fact, this is also not one where you had to be in the pre-market. The downside of the other side of the equation here is, well, this looks like a pretty disgustingly bad daily chart, unfortunately. It's so bad that no one wants to see it, so it just went all black there. In all seriousness, this doesn't look very promising in terms of the stock's history. So with no catalyst, I hate chase. I would never chase without a catalyst or a particular one. Could just be part of the space, and that's the reason. Looks like $7 or maybe $6.80 in here is going to be a bit of a problem for the stock. I wouldn't be a chaser, but congrats if you happen to have this. I paid for locates on a different one of the ones that actually failed. I don't think this is necessarily something you want to fight for a short, but I wouldn't be involved at all. Oh, side note, we might still get that SMR breakout at 21. Outside chance, fingers crossed, if not tomorrow.
Yeah, SMR was a great trade today, breaking through 20 bucks. P&L number 2 on the show today, SMR. Millions of concussion, zero approved therapies. Oragenics, symbol OGEN, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an expected $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Oragenics is positioned well to drive what comes next. See what's ahead, book a meeting, understand more about Oragenics today. All right, man. There it is, man. We keep on saying this. Traders got it. Oh, traders got to trade. Yeah, apologize again, guys. I mean, we keep on, like I said, we know the problem. It's with our platform. We're going to have to adjust the position board. It's we know what the problem is. We'll get it fixed. Yeah, I don't know. We got to get it fixed. But there it is anyway. So I'm just going to, I actually was waiting at 95. I just put an 85 in there. We didn't get 95 right there on Tesla. But we can now wait. I want to say a big shout out to Charlie there in the chat. He had mentioned there, what should we do? And I can't find it, but here it is right here. Google, by the way, right now, ripping. We're up 210 right now on Google in the money. Charlie says, hypothetically speaking, you're in 2,440 calls on Tesla expiring tomorrow. One of them, you're up 438, trimming at least one before close today. Hold the other overnight or take profit. Well, I answered you exactly the way I would take it myself. I'd take profit. If you already hold one of them, play with house money, and then take profit. Like, that's the way I am. That's what I do, obviously, here every single day as I trade. When something goes for you, especially when you have a nice win, take the profit. Anything can turn around on you, and you have no idea what tomorrow will bring. Like, there could be another story about robo-taxis on the negative side, and then you give everything back. So I would say play with house money, but I think this extends, man. I think this has a 450 on it today. That's why we're in it, obviously. We're in $4 in the money on these 3 trades. So Palantir and Google are old, but we put this one on, Neil, live for everybody. So there it goes, Tesla breaking that high right now through 449. It's a big trade. It's a face slapper for you right now. It's Tesla now at $1.30. So you're welcome, Charlie, and everybody else out there, man. Just keep those questions coming, and we have no problem answering them for you. So there you go, Charlie. We got that one up. Yeah, so yeah, you're welcome. It's always
what others think as well. No one ever went broke taking profits. I agree. Northwestern Canopy Development in the chat. I don't mind looking at Rocket Lab. Just remember, put $ in front of the name. So anytime you're typing a symbol into the chat, go $RKLB, and no issues whatsoever. Before I get to that, I mentioned SMR in that 21. It couldn't really hold the 21 break. Technically, you can't see because my head's in the way. There you go. Technically did not hold it yesterday over 21. Did not break it today. 2098 is going to be the high. The only downside, I've only been involved in 2040 breakouts on SMR today. And, to each going to be their own. I do think that with the fail at 21, it's an all-day trend. I will take this short into VWAP, but I have an order to break out long if it gets through 21 long. I just will be short if it breaks that trend line. It's going to look for that specific entry here on SMR, and then we can look at Rocket Lab, certainly, because, hey, we got a graphic for this one. There you go. Rocket Lab is actually outpacing the Rocket to the upside. Look. This is catching a bid, and I think it's going to be a crowded trade at $100 when this breaks $100. But sometimes crowded trades have to be what they have to be. I thought maybe you were looking for a deeper pullback. Hasn't happened yet. I would venture to say the only thing you got to worry about this afternoon is this is a mirror image of yesterday. almost a carbon copy. Same low, same high. Couldn't really break past 90 in the morning before, so can it do that today? It's built a little bit differently this afternoon. But still, that 90 is going to be a bit of an issue. I'm looking at SMR, like I said, as my next opportunity. Let's go to the desk. I believe I heard Adara.
Oracle and watch your ORCL getting a little bit, as you can see here, of a spike that we've already kind of given up on this 3-minute candle. Political reporting that U.S. and China have both signed off on the TikTok deal. I was seeing some other reports to this effect, suggesting more updates could be coming today. Earlier, but again, Politico reporting as of 5 minutes ago that the U.S. and China have signed off on TikTok deals, citing unnamed sources. Back to you.
I think so, Adara. Yeah, stay tuned, man. Any sort of news that flies through, Adara will have all of that for all of you. All right, so more outs there, just Palantir getting out. We're getting very, very light on all of these positions because if we do break below now, we could see a little bit of a drift. And, you know, all the stocks that I'm in are high beta stocks to the market. So in what was a great trade for Tesla, it did give some back as we got out there at 449, and then we took another piece right there at 448.65. So, you know, it gets as high as 449.10s or so, and now back in, remember where our stop is going to be on the rest of this, 447. But just so everybody knows, if I just do the quick math here, I'm about 15% left. So it's not a huge position now for TSLA, and you know, we'll just let it go now and see where it goes for this trade. But we were really happy getting out at these highs anyways, so we did it one more time, and lucky enough to average in twice down there against 447 and then pop through. So we take the high of the day break right there as well. And then for Palantir, I mean, we had this one written down and was a great trade that I thought it was going to be a great trade anyways. This was on our, and I heard Neil talk about it as well. This was one of the 4 ideas that I had right there. Palantir, the 170 long break. I set that key up.
It's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to happen tomorrow for sure. And there it is. So Palantir, we had that set up today, but it fell back in right away. It didn't even, it did not break 170. It came close. That was right. Remember, I was like, we were in the pre-market and we were watching. I'm like, oh God, now it's going to break in the pre-market. But that went the other way here. So yeah, not much to do with Palantir today. We tried to grab the long and it did not work. So this will be a 1 red stock there today, and it's not red by much. This was not as many shares there. I actually wasn't even here. I set this order down and took the long, and you can tell when I came back, started to get out of that. So, you know, nice move up for Palantir, right back into 166 and change. So just trust your own strategies and what you do. Like I said, I just planted that order there, left, it got filled, put my stop order if it breaks 165 and change, and then it ran to the upside there. So just an easy trade for Palantir. If you were there on the midday, maybe you made it, maybe you didn't, but not hard on that one. And then, you know, let's talk about an easy versus hard trade. We're gonna get at another piece right there of Tesla. It just went back up to 448.50, so we'll take another piece there and get into about that 10% or so left, a little bit more. Let's call it 12.5% left there on Tesla into the close. So I think the only trade to look, we can watch it. Well, there's gonna be lots of trades. Keep them in the chat. Intel into the close. We sort of said if it breaks this 54.50, then I could consider this a long at some point there. But yeah, Google, we got some more out, Palantir, and then Tesla's the story that just won't give up. So yeah, we're comfortable sitting here waiting. Join us at 4 p.m. We had a great after show a couple days ago with Netflix earnings, and we'll beat that show today with Intel earnings.
I think Intel probably moves a little more than Netflix did.
You think so? I don't know.
Netflix came under expectations of 7.7. What do we get at the most? We got 5, 5.5, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Moved a little bit more
6%.
The next day, so
is
Netflix
Intel's
ended up being pretty volatile. Actually, that's a good point. What is?
I don't know what what's Intel's expected move there, Dara? Do you have that? Yeah, she's going to get that for us in a second. There's lots of sources.
No, but Eclectic Passion just put a name in there that I promise you no one in this chat has ever mentioned Quantum Motion, which is a Canadian company that just apparently filed to go into the NYSE. And thank you for Eclectic Passion for mentioning that, because there's opportunities everywhere, including the Canadian Stock Exchange. This will be an interesting one, because it could easily break $6 tomorrow. So if you're into real trading, if you're at real trading, you can trade the venture. This is just as clean of a trade or breakout as anything else. It trades just like the U.S. markets. I think this is going to be one to watch tomorrow. No questions asked. I don't know if we can get there today, but good luck there, Eclectic Passions. All right, we might get a breakdown on this SMR. Hopefully this will give us either the break through 21 or my trend break that we can jump into. Adara, expected move?
Yeah, the Intel expected move is 8%. You guys know me. There will be an infographic coming out with all of those expected moves a lot closer, but I don't like to talk about them too early because they change wildly throughout the day, so I like to keep it clean.
Yeah, like if Intel starts moving around, which I would suspect there's probably going to be an imbalance with Intel at 3:30. We'll check the early looks then, maybe even a bit earlier than that. Intel has been, when you're doing double digits so routinely going into earnings in a quiet, like today was a pretty quiet day by Intel standards recently, for it to only move like $1.20, that's still a 2% range up and down. But like we call it a quiet day, but the top is 54, like 54.5, and the bottom here is 53. So it's still not really, yeah, maybe not even quite, just over 2%. Like that's pretty good. Like if we'll get excited if Tesla moves 2%, you're talking $9. So when we say it was a small day for Intel, that's just relatively speaking because it's been doing double digits recently. But quiet for now. Very, very quiet, at least for now. Keep those symbols coming in here. DJK, I saw you talk about CVNA. Carvana. This stock. It doesn't have to make sense, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I wish I did, because then I'd have it, and then you'd be reaping the rewards. I don't believe that this isn't an all-time high, because it did tick higher after the top on the inclusion into the S&P 500. I believe wicked out above 480 bucks, but effectively, this is going to be an all-time high close for Carvana. And again, I don't necessarily think it makes all that much sense, but who cares? For all the excitement about GameStop, and we talked about them today, the real squeeze for a long time was these guys. And they continue to go, and nothing seems to be stopping them whatsoever. If you see me looking up, it's because the one thing I'm interested in is close to happening. So I'm just going to wait for my entry. Been pretty specific today. It's like not even, it's weird. Like it's not even just trading the same names. It's like weirdly ended up at the same prices. Like I've only traded SMR kind of bouncing off of VWAP in the 2040 level, and that's worked out. I had one trade in that IPO, which usually we like longs on IPOs. That ended up being short. It's not doing much of anything today, BitGo. I know it says up 19%, but that's because they always deceive you with the price. Like it's actually down from the open. Yeah. Like it opened at $22.43, which took the opening print long. That would have been an absolute mess. I'm glad I didn't. But no, it's down from the open probably 0.5% or so. Just kind of a nothing burger, that one. There's a bigger one tomorrow. I put that in air quotes. 900,000 IPO tomorrow. Sorry, $900 million IPO tomorrow. Okay. But it's not a company that I know anything about. It's, what is this thing called? Equipmentshare.com, which is exactly what it sounds like. They lease out, essentially, construction equipment. That's it. They rent it out, I suppose. So I've never heard of them, but again, I'm not in the business, so maybe people know these guys.
I don't know.
But it's a big IPO.
I don't want anything to do. Oh, tomorrow, you mean?
But it says tomorrow, which is weird.
What space is it in?
Well, I mean, EquipShare, so I guess they'd be in, I don't know what you call it. They're an online platform, so it's kind of tech. But they literally.
For crypto?
No. They literally manufacturing equipment. They lease out
That's
manufacturing.
not bad. I don't mind that. Manufacturing production right now, relatively hot. The reason why that BTGO was a no-go for me, it's just pretty simple, man. Like a lot of these names are, A, it was small, and then B, it's just like, this is like Coinbase's crypto. You know, like Coinbase has just not been performing that well. We saw Gemini come through as well, GEMI. We know that from talking with Obi and, the plays that this is $10. So, like, another recent crypto IPO. Thanks for coming out. Wow, this one IPO'd at $37 and is now $10. Honestly, man, these bankers should honestly be investigated. Like, what they do to people's wealth here is just disgusting. But anyways, okay. Circle here as well. This name, at least this is still above its IPO price.
Come full circle.
But this one has come full circle for sure. Obi's talked about, well, is short on this one, and there it is right there into 70. So if anything, maybe this one is okay. Like how they get Circle completely one way and Gemini completely the other, and StubHub and all these other more recent IPOs that are just absolutely getting crushed right now. I would say put BTFO, it can GTFO in my opinion. So we'll just wait to see where that one goes. But I hope you guys aren't in it. I didn't mean to say that if you're in it, but if you are in it, you can GTFO right now. But that name is another one, and there's been some other IPOs. Obviously, we just talked about what StubHub has been doing. There's FIG.
Figma's the worst.
Yeah, I don't even want to. So StubHub here was 28 bucks, or no, sorry, was it? Yeah, there it is. So it came out at 25 and change, got as low as 10. If that didn't scare you out, maybe $15 will. That's where that is right now. And then Figma, everyone in Adobe, although Adobe's not happy, obviously, with their share price either, but they're sure as hell happy that they didn't purchase Figma. That name is just like, okay.
Yeah, that's the worst one. If there's
Whatever.
the worst IPO of the last year, then I don't know.
Yeah, this or Gemmy, basically. I mean, if this came out at 85 bucks, at least you're at 28 right now. So you're chopped in half and then half again. But
well, the good news
yeah,
is
pretty bad, pretty bad.
The good news is there's like a limit to how much worse it could get.
Yeah, it could go to zero.
If it was a SPAC, I'd be saying like $10. But when it's not a SPAC, you don't really have a level that you're looking for a bounce. All SPACs, when they get a deal, like implicitly, there's like the $10 level just kind of ends up as support.
Yeah. So
like no matter how bad it gets, it's like, okay, you just wait for it to get to 10 and then try the bounce. If it bounces, it works. Like Webull is a perfect example. The first time it bounced off 10, it got to 18. The second time, not so much. It just didn't bounce, so you had to get out. And that one's probably still looking pretty bad. Yeah. Actually, I don't think.
$4.40.
$8. Yeah, Webull's still. We keep getting questions about it. It's like, it's still under the 10, but it's looking a little bit different. Hey, come on, chart. There we go. Triple bottom on Webull. So this could at least be something. If it's not going to be above $10, there's the first. Remember I said the first bounce off 10 was easy. Well, this is it holding $10. This is the higher low. So that ended up working out. If you happen to have it, SMR finally broke 21, so it doesn't break trend down. But the point is, I think a 50-period breakout on Webull could be interesting. I haven't looked at that in a while, and I'm out of it in my personal account, just for the record. When it lost that $10 level, I'm like, forget it. I'll wait for an opportunity or a reason to get into it again, and I'd feel the same way. Like if I owned Figma, I'd just be very, very patiently waiting for any signs of a low, and then see what you can do. If it sets up like a double bottom, triple bottom, trend break, whatever the heck it is, you get your money and get in and get out.
We're trying to do that right now with Apple. That's why we hit that alarm. We're into Apple right now. Nice little move down there into some kind of support. We're only going to give it to 249. I'm not going to give this to 248.50. So, looking for levels that looks familiar. This one looks kind of familiar. So we're going to wait to see what happens here with AAPL right now. Just see. If it goes through 249, we're going to get out and just say, oh, well, to that one. Good couple outs, man. Google, Palantir, all these outs. Tesla looks like it wants to break through 447. Fine by me if it does that, like I've already explained to you. We did empty the clip out here a lot. The futures are now coming in. This is why when I zoomed out the other time, and I was trying to recommend, I forget what it was to somebody, we were definitely like, hey, how far away from VWAP are we? Well, that's coming in pretty nicely right now. Here for the futures. So just be careful with all of your longs, man. We're glad we're pretty light. I don't think there's anything wrong with maybe even getting some more out right now. Even on Tesla, that spot could be an out here as well. So we'll be careful with it. But here we go, man. Google to the upside. Tesla trying to bounce around as well.
Yeah, and if you're looking at these market moves and wondering how you can take advantage of them even more, then if you're a savvy Canadian trader, boost your exposure by tapping into S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Triple X leverage BTFs brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX. They've got built-in FX hedging so you can amplify the moves like we just said, whether you're bullish or bearish, and minimize the currency swings. They're built for you active traders that are trying to take on these markets, but make sure you read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Scan the QR code you see out in front of you. And let's get to Danny's boy super chat. Danny's boy. What up, Danny's boy? I thought it was a bit strange to see all the silver mining stocks up 7, 8, 10% this morning. You skipped 9. While silver was only up 1 to 2% at the time, so you got my... I got my freak on for recon. It turns out Rick Rule recommended miners over silver. We've seen this before. First move, sometimes it happens all the time with gold. First move goes gold, and then GDX will follow. And I think you saw a little bit of that today. PAS. Oh, yeah. Pan American reported this morning. They were up like 5 or 6% at one point. Don't know where they are now. But I think that's a pattern we've seen before. And sometimes you follow the leader. Again, there's always another opportunity into how you can express trades. I remember a time on the trading floor where literally nobody traded gold, but lots of people traded GDX. I don't remember the particular reason why. They could have traded DLD. They just like to trade the miners. And if that's your cup of tea, I think going and doing recon and finding out the reasons can give you more oomph in your trade. That said, silver was just fine on its own today. It ended up having a much better day than expected. I was like a hands-off. Usually we look at silver every single day. I just kind of felt it was diddling right in the middle of the range and didn't really show any signs of breakout, so I stayed away. That was a mistake because it was another one of these. It was one of the up days where all you had to do was buy VWAP. And you bought VWAP once after the open on the dip, and that was pretty much it. Knock on wood, it hasn't revisited it since, although it is pulling back. And speaking of pullbacks, I'm going to give the trend line my out. I already had a stop to go short on SMR, so it broke 21. The trend line's here, so I don't have to really do anything. We'll just take the short. We'll just take it out if we break the trend on the 3-minute, and that trend goes all the way from the morning. One thing you can't do, I can't reverse short on a single order. So like if it breaks, I can get out, but I have to actually hit and punch short if I want to get it on the trend line. What is that?
That's still trying to go. Oh, there was a little bit of a muffin here. They're not that good. All right. So a little bit more out on Tesla at 448 there as that continues to climb a little bit higher. ASTS Mobile today, Space Mobile, AST Space Mobile. Yeah, up 15%. Wow. Boom, goes the dynamite on that one. Just continues to climb upside here. I have no idea what the story is, but AST just continues to make that move up. We talked about Rocket Lab as well. I think it's just, you're in the right space right now with all these names. Right space. No.
They just announced the timing of a launch. That appears to be it. But good look for ASTS.
All right, yeah, so ASTS is launching itself right now back up to the upside. It's been a kind of a wild ride for AST Space Mobile, but yeah, nice move there. And on Elon's talk about everything that has to do with everything space-wise today and robotics and all that, it's nice to see that, it's not just SpaceX and Elon talk that's going to get the market rallying here. ASTS there with that launch looks good. And it is just, whoa, beautiful move, man. And like I was telling you, that guy that asked me about crypto, I was like, yeah, you got to get the next best thing, man, not now. This back in 2024 was $2. It's not a reverse split. There's nothing about this. So you could have just basically been retired. You put in 10 grand here. It's now up to one, like the numbers of that's just insane. So obviously if I had done that similarly to like Palantir was never $2, man. It opened at $9.80 and then went down to $7 or so. And then now it's, as high as 200. So it is some kind of similar to this, but this was $1 for a minute. And then it came back into here. This is probably more like an area where there's a lot of opportunity to be long on ASTS. It would be right into here, the $20 to $22 marker, where it looked like, just like Intel, based out for a while, and then now tripled, Intel, or roughly tripled from those levels. So you're seeing an extension in the right space, the right time. Congratulations to AST Mobile. And then we do have an average in right now for myself as we just got filled at low side on Apple. Just waiting for 249. The markets come in, Apple come in very, very violently. So I said, you know what, man, let's put on like half a unit worth of risk here and remember, like both of our units are way different. So, I'm just telling you guys that when I talk about units, like 3 to 4 is like a bigger position. So like half of one is just kind of chill. So we're going to wait. Not in love with this trade here this afternoon. If we get lower into VWAP right there, I think I'd rather just look at the TQs or something than an individual stock. But yeah, because right now I'm long Google, Palantir, Tesla, and Apple. Like I'm almost like holding the Nasdaq here. And this one's easy for me because of the move down and 249. But I'm just going to sit around and wait. What's up, Tony? Thank you for that. I will try to get it very, very soon. If Sharif was here and someone yawned or sneezed, he would say get it. But I do appreciate that as well. And I may be getting out of Apple if it breaks 249. So, you know, we do want to say thank you to everybody here. And I thought this was Ozan right here, Neil, but there it is right there, the cash cow hat. I got to wear that hat at some point. I want to say thank you so much there to always be thankful. And we are always thankful for everyone here. And we're also thankful for Sia in the back. So let's see what Sia wants to tell you guys.
Thank you, Sean. Let's dive into it. A couple of important economic releases as of today. The GDP growth rate for the third quarter came at 8:30 a.m. today. The forecasted number was 4.3%. And current number standing at 4.6 more than last time. GDP price index final also came out at 8:30 today. The forecasted was at 3.7, and the actual number actually stands exactly as the forecast. Initial jobless claims also came out at 8:30 a.m. this morning, with the actual number at 200K and the previous at 199. And EIA crude oil stocks change, as well as EIA gasoline stocks change at 12 p.m. today, with crude oil surpassing its previous number by over 200K, and gasoline has dropped by 3 million compared to its last standing at 8.977 million. Let's take a look at headlines. BBAI has acquired Cargo Steer Technologies, which basically focuses on cargo inspection and trade risk tools. Cargo Steer's platform focuses on non-intrusive inspection. That means you wouldn't need to open cargo to scan containers. Shares of BBAI had lost 3.9 during trading session yesterday, but gained 1.4 in the after-hours trading session, and currently stock is up 4%. Let's also take a look at CBRE. CBRE has acquired Industrious, which is a flexible office company that has grown at an impressive pace after the pandemic. In 2025, Industrious had increased its global footprint by 58% and now has more than 250 units in over 100 cities. Currently, CBRE stock is up 0.4%. That's all. Back to the guys.
Thank you very much, Sia. Hatimova in the chat has asked several times about Fiserv. So this one, don't mind talking about it. Probably not what you're going to want to hear. Anytime the last story, when I look up the story on Fiserv, like the last piece of information is shareholder justice law firm Julie N. Hollerman is investigating Fiserv's directors and officers for potential wrongdoing. And this is the weekly chart. So, you know, when you're bottom picking something like this, just understand that clearly there's been some issues here. Understand there's nothing wrong with taking shot plays. I get what would be appealing here, that it's held a higher low in the weekly. So like, it's kind of like if it breaks out through like 70, you're like, oh my goodness, look what it could do. That plays in both directions, because it's still downward trending. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, if it breaks 70, just be along on a 70 break and kind of give it to the prior weekly low, which is like 64, 65 bucks. You're risking like 10%, hoping it fills in the gap. But that's hope in something which has been a dumpster fire. Just understandably, I think, for Fiserv. So that doesn't really float my boat. It's having a nice, decent rally in here today. I think there is at least some kind of a setup, but not that exciting for myself. As said, take the breakout trade, give it to the trend line. If it can hold, I did scalp some out, so if it can hold the trend line here, which it's only bouncing now, shows me a sign that it's holding the trend line, then I would add back in. That's kind of like two trades in one. One would be buying on the trend, the other one's a breakout. That'll give me another setup for sure. But it hasn't happened yet. Want to be a little bit particular. Still nothing doing on Intel. I mean, the market comes back a little bit. Intel doesn't even get to the volume weighted average price. Like, it's not at VWAP. It's not threatening to VWAP. I don't think this is going to be. Intel just might be quiet until the fireworks after market. Entirely possible. Just because you have earnings doesn't mean you have to be flying around here in the afternoon. It'd be nice if it did. And we'll certainly keep it up and pay attention to it if it happens to. So looking for this bounce here on SMR, and then we probably scalp into that 21. It's like 2108 is the high of the day.
Yeah, so everybody asking, obviously we get out of our trades as far as, oopsies, as far as, not Palantir, Tesla's concerned. It broke through, so it broke through 447. That was always gonna be our out, so see you later on that one. Apple does not work, see you later on that one as well. So trying to get some of these dips, and we said we would look at the futures, so we used the TQQs for that one, and yeah, just right into VWAP. We actually, I was bidding 71s. Okay, so it only gets as low right there as 73s. Just gonna probably drop this if it breaks 60 right here. So if we break back down below, then we can get out of the TQQ and give a little bit back. But I've already told you, this not a huge amount here. As we're nervous about this market. I was saying that we were a little nervous about it up there, and waiting to maybe get some longs if we come back in, and we would choose the futures. So let's just see if there is some upside tick there. With only really coming through, I mean, we can go check it out. Adara always has a calendar out. Is there a calendar out today, Adara?
For what, earnings tonight?
Yeah.
Not yet. As I said, with these implied moves, I like to keep it kind of close to the vest. But if you look at today's, like the one that I posted yesterday, you'll see all the things that are reporting tonight. I just don't have the expected moves yet. Oh,
the expected moves. Well, that's okay. Yeah, I was just going to see some other names. Yeah, here it is right here. So pre-market coming through today. So there's Intel, CSX coming, Capital One, so we can take a look over there as well. Intuitive Surgical, I talked about J&J eating a little bit of their lunch. Talked about that yesterday. Alcoa, Alaska Airlines, Mobileye, Procter earlier on. GE actually was getting hit down 6.5% earlier. Has it recovered? Oh, no, I think it's about the same pricing, yeah. So this is an interesting name for me if we're talking about this. It's called GE Aerospace. So if you did want some sort of a space exposure as well, this name has doubled from the bottom. So there could be some get up into this there as well, GE Aerospace. So that's not bad. And then we saw Capital One on there, right? So COF. Yep. They've been hit. It's a name that I am in this name, and been hit a little bit there on the credit card worries of that 10%. So I am worried about that if that goes down to 10%. But there it is. We'll wait to see what happens with earnings. Banks, I've gotten a little bit better. Someone asked us about JP Morgan and the other banks there today, and they said, is this a good long right in? Oops, come on, chart. Right into here, and I was like, yes, I think that is a good long. And we showed you with where that break was right there. So it was literally right here when you asked us. So I hope that you saw, which you must have, that break down there, and now you're about to turn red. So as this market continues to go lower, watch out for JP Morgan breaking and not really able to hold. So now you're looking down here at 301 for a potential area of concern there for JP. So yeah, not great there on the move for JP Morgan. Broadcom, yeah, there's a whole bunch. Like, I'm still in these same names, but remember, TQs, we're going to get out when we get out. It's in the money, amazing, or that's SMR, sorry. TQs is in the money or out of the money 5 cents. SMR, wow, we made the bottom right there. That was only on 15%, but that was a great trade. Upside there, risking 10 cents and making 20 or 30. That was good. Too bad that happened, but wow, SMR, I know Neil's in this one too, but nice move there for SMR the rest of the day. If we had just held that, we'd be laughing, but we didn't, so they're laughing at us. The sound is horrible on this show. Yeah, I don't know. We're working on our mics. That's all I can tell you.
It's like an individual mic issue from time to time. I don't know. Sometimes I'll put it up and listen to it.
Yeah, I always
put the feed in my ear just to make sure, but I think it's been fine recently.
Yeah.
But we always appreciate the feedback, and we're always working to make things look and sound better, including, obviously, as you can see, Studio 8, which still not even, look, we're not 100% done. There's still more to go. We got the bell finally, so we can ring the closing bell tonight for sure. Ramin's like, yeah, it sounds fine. So the production crew says it also sounds fine.
They're taking it personal back there.
Yeah, that was, I won't say it that way. I turned it on myself. I just kind of flashed it on, and it sounded okay to me. But
I know, I watch it at home. It sounds fine.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So I can ask Joe how it sounds at home as well.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, if there is a problem, refresh and all that.
We're going to let you guys know.
What are we supposed to do? We did not get our low there. That's all that I'm looking at.
Oh my goodness for me.
Tesla's still 446.80 as well. We'll see. We'll see what's going on here moving forward, guys. Put in the chat if there's anything else you want from us right now. You can ask us any any questions about trading, whatever, how the day is going, anything like that, we are fine. Yeah, stocks are going down, but I mean, we're still up. We basically made everything back. Like if you look at, the NASDAQ, or you can just look at the SPY. We always look at the Nasdaq. So if we look at the SPY right into here on a daily chart, we did have, actually, let's just go into the 30 minutes on E-signal. But we did have that huge move, right, that happened on Tuesday, I almost said Monday. So there's the whole Greenland, like, oh no, what have we done type of thing. Get me out of all my positions. This is the worst kind of trade possible. And then all of a sudden it was fine again. So there's the move down into 670. Let me move this thing here. 676 there for the SPY. Obviously the lows. Now up about 20, less than 20, about 13 bucks from there. Got as high as 691, so put 25 bucks back on that trade. And we almost, like, if you were looking to say, hey man, like where was I gonna get short here potentially, or what was I looking to do? Like that would have been a great spot, 691. We almost made it all the way back to sort of where we were on the close the 16th on Friday, before we heard over the weekend, and then all of a sudden, bang, that goes to the downside, and we almost make it all the way back. So that whole, the sky is falling mentality of Greenland, I don't think we want to take geopolitical risks as serious, because we've seen this happen numerous times. There's even that acronym for it, TACO, and I don't think he chickened out at all this time. It's just, they came to the table, and apparently there is some concepts and a framework for a deal now, although the United States always had full, military capabilities available to them on Denmark. I'm sure there's something about the CRMLs, the critical metals that are there, the rare earths, and all that. So we'll wait. I mean, Trump has not said anything yet about what this deal is. He just says it's relatively complex. So we'll hear about what that is. Adara.
Apparently, he hasn't said anything to European leadership either. I saw at least the IMF and also the leader of Greenland saying that they have heard nothing as to what this deal actually entails. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how cooperation comes to be on this if he hasn't really talked to Europe yet.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter. This was vastly different from the other tariffs. It wasn't the same thing. Because what he was what the U.S. was looking for, all things that have been either, like they've always had a military presence, it's just been dwindling over the last 10 to 15 years. You want to have minimal rights. That's something that they have been trying to do. They've actually tried to buy it before. So this is, again, it's not anything kind of new. It was literally just a tariff threat, and if that led to negotiation, then so be it. But what we can learn, I think, sometimes is when the president says buy, just buy kind of deal. If you're day trading, at least, maybe not investing. We'll see. And in terms of critical metal, in terms of like rare earth metals, critical metals, and all that, there's a long way to go in Greenland before you get more yield. Like they're in the top 10, but so much of Greenland is like not developed and no infrastructure, which makes it incredibly difficult, to have any short-term, let's just say, substantive change in production there will take quite some time. That's the best way to put it. So I didn't reverse. Ended up not reversing because I don't think the volatility is there. SMR, we took the bounce play. The breakout trade first, but then we take the bounce play on the trend line. It's the first time I took the trend trade, but it closed prior bar, which I like to do. Like one of the things you'll always see, I'd like to hope you will always see me take the breakout. I've got my stop if it goes back underneath the breakout price. Here, if it breaks the trend line, I'm just going to be out. Don't want to be fiddling or messing around with it. Ultimately, you just want to do what leads to consistency for yourself at the end of the day, whatever works. But I'm electing not to take the reverse trade because there's not much volatility back into the move. It closed under the trend line and then instantly did nothing. So I didn't see any spike in volume. I'd love to see it. If it consolidates under, then I might take a breakdown here. But where my attention might go is if we're getting weak. I said I wanted Rivian short at VWAP. Rivian just went red on the day. So it's not getting to VWAP. It's the opposite of Tesla today in terms of trend. So if I feel weak about this afternoon, it'll just have to be playing alongside. Forget about this spike. On news, you can get crazy moves. After it settled down, lower high, just a series of lower highs. As long as it can hold on to this trend, scalp the trend line short for Rivian. If I can't get it to pop as far as I want to go, then the other way to play it would just be to short the trend.
All right. They just wanted me to do a little quick test trade there, so I did get out a little bit more there because the position board's now back on. As I said, they're trying to figure this problem out, and I think we're going to get closer and closer to that. So we take another piece out. I am waiting to get a little longer at 3:30 here on Google. And like I said, I'm holding, very small amount of shares here on Google. But all right, Adair, what you got for us?
I have some interesting intel here, potentially on this ASPI, the small cap ASPI isotopes. It's still near day's high, zero hedge. Now calling this potentially a short squeeze. The company apparently does have a 21% short float, which zero hedge says is a record for ASPI. So again, pure speculation, but looks like this ASPI move could potentially be a short squeeze. Back to you.
Well, I mean, it's like
Short squeeze, eh?
if it has a decent short
Let me
float,
see what Tesla's doing.
then by definition, when your float is this small, only a few million shares, and when 20% of it is short, whether you call that or not, shorts are getting squeezed. The reason for the move, it's like, well, there could be news or not, you're still getting squeezed. And one thing you should always consider for a short squeeze is, has it actually broken out? One of the reasons why who cares? It is a squeeze. This is a reverse split that is broken through the first area of resistance. Like firms that do this, they short when there's a reverse split, and then they just keep shorting pops until the thing is dead. And so like they're short and probably they're short, and that's all under $5, and then here's all pretty much under $5, and all this nonsense is under $5, and now you could be taking out the top at 7. So yeah, somebody's getting squeezed, no question about it on ASTI. Just understand that these firms usually can kind of hold this for a very long time against them and float it much farther than you can float the long if it comes back in. They make a business of doing this because they got billions of dollars. And when they can just add to the position short forever and forever, as long as there's liquidity, it makes it tricky to absolutely blow them out. Every once in a while you get a GameStop, but most of the times these things resolve themselves in the other direction, which is back into the downside. And you can already see, look at 7. Someone's probably holding this at 7 and betting this is the place, because look at how it's consolidating there. I doubt we can short this stock, that's for sure.
Yeah, we probably have to,
we'd have to
pay for those shorts. So here's another thing that's starting to go, and if you have some of this in your portfolio, then you're laughing again today, up 4%, silver at all-time highs one more time, and taking out some key levels. So here goes silver right through 87. If we sort of take this and zoom it around, I can't zoom it anymore on this chart, then we go over here to the 30-minute chart, and you're just right now looking to take out these levels. We've already taken out it was 87.05 was the high. The previous high before this was 86.33 on the closing price. But right in there, we did get into the pre-market. There it is, 86.33. You see right into there. So now we're going to have to see if we want to take this high out right now, 87.50. So that's where we've been today on this. 87.50 on SLV has been the high. So right there, watch out for this name to really rip through some of these levels. It's silver taking out the highs. Let me check out gold, and we're going to go over to SIA, GLD.AM, obviously over here on the Amex exchange. And there it is too, gold. Looks like, I think this is, yep, looks like all-time highs right there for gold again as well. So 454, damn man, should have bought some more gold last year. Big time there. All right, market trying to figure it out. SIA on the desk. Let's go figure out what she's up to.
We're going to take a look at small cap, the Russell. My screen is looking great today. I really like what I'm seeing. Lots of reds, lots of greens. But let's take a look at a couple individual tickers. Like we spoke yesterday, I would like to talk about LMND again. LMND, as we know, is the insurance company that is offering a roughly 50% reduction in per mile rates with Tesla's self-driving car. It's currently up 12%. Moving on to CRSP, CRISPR Therapeutics trading above 10%, trading positive 10%, really good. There's nothing major to report here. But Hecla Mining, sorry for that here. Hecla Mining, HL, is up 8%. As of yesterday, as we know, shares of silver were rising in the pre-market, and spot silver rose to 0.5%, which is $95.04 per ounce. Obviously moved into today, is doing pretty well. And Yep. Energy Fuels Inc. is up 10%. As of January 20, the company announced that it is entering into a scheme implementation deed, which is an SID, to acquire 100% of the issued share capital of Australian Strategic Materials Limited. On the ASX, it's called ASM, and which is a leading producer of REE metals and alloys. That's all I have for small cap, guys. Back to them.
Yeah, CRISPR without a catalyst, but certainly has been running very well. Anecdotally about Lemonade, I did see there was at least one person that I saw on Twitter that was like, oh, let me see if I did change, if I went to Lemonade and used self-driving more on Tesla, like how much would I actually save? And it ended up like, they claimed like net it was no difference because it started out as more expensive. But either way, this one continues to be an absolute rocket ship. It wants $100. I guess it gets $100 for a Rocket Lab. I never would have made that bet for sure. But CRISPR, catalyst or no catalyst today, technical. Hold the 200-period moving average. That was the only reason. I shouldn't say the only reason, but it was pretty much the overwhelming majority of the reason why I made it a pick was just a technical trade on this. It's going to break $60 and close above it today. I think almost certainly it's going to close over 60 at this point. So the breakout is on CRISPR. I just think there's not a heck of a lot standing in its way. So happy to see it go. Unfortunately, it's just, I wish there was news on CRISPR. We'll double check to see when their earnings are. So flat trade on the reverse on SMR. Like it ends up breaking down. Wait for it to actually start breaking down on the trend line. It goes in, comes to first support, and then breaks back above the prior bar. So took it, didn't love it immediately, but eventually it started to look a little bit weaker. So took the shot at an SMR. It'll end up being a scratch trade, as I said there. BBAI apparently got to $6.
Oh, yeah?
It wasn't a huge catalyst. It's more like how long this took to get to 6 today. And this is still not even, yeah, this is, where is it on the daily? Close to the 50 period, not really there just yet. Another 200 period hold, but lacking like the true breakout, I think. It's a trend break for sure on BBAI. Just has to get to that big resistance. CRISPR is a different story. Like CRISPR to me, like that's starting to squeeze once it holds above that 60 level. Ja in the chat, AI, I'm calling this for the next short squeeze. Here's a question for you, Ja.
All right.
What do they do? No, I'm just kidding. Now, we always joke around about this particular name. Can anyone explain exactly what C3AI does? Without going to the, because every time this stock comes up, I just go to the Wikipedia page and read it out for everybody, and then no one can still tell me what they do. Maybe anything can squeeze, but the shorts that have been winning on this have zero reason to be concerned. Even if it got to like 15, even if it got to 16, they're probably getting aggressive at like 19. It's got a long way before it goes like anything parabolic. The good news is, how far further can it get to the downside? Like, what's the all-time low here on C3I? Probably this, right? I would assume.
I didn't even look.
Let's look at a weekly. I mean, it's at 12. It's at $13. Oh no, it's not even at the all-time low. What is that?
It's an IPO.
Oh, $10.
$10. Yeah.
Looks like the low is $10. So yeah, it's actually putting in a higher low off of $10. There's the higher low there that it held before at like 17. You're back underneath that. But $10 looks like it's a pretty good spot there for C3I. So you're risking 30, 40 cents. Fedora the Explorer, see, here's their opinion.
Great name.
It isn't a real AI company. It used to be called C3 Energy and C3 IoT. CEO would change the name of the company to whatever was trending in the stock market. Well, that would kind of explain why no one can tell me what they do. So you know my opinion on the stock, but a trade's a trade. You can trade things that, lots of things go up or down without you understanding the company. It happens. That's perfectly fine. I just wouldn't invest in them. That's me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's always smart to know what your companies are doing when you're holding them, especially if you're recommending them and whatnot. But C3AI for a short, good look right there. Okay, new position, Google. So we just took Google long there at O's. We talked about waiting for this. We got 05s. You know what? Because it's moving around right now, let me just take something. If I'll offer 26, well, there it goes. Okay, we get it. So there it goes. So far, so good there. Whatever, we'll take 20 cents. It's an easy trade. There on Google, we're still holding. We took out 10% there. It's nothing. We'll see if we can get a little bit higher. And if it breaks below, and we can get out. You know what? Let's take another piece right now as well, then, now that I'm thinking about that, because if the market does break through VWAP again, we make sure that we want to get out. But I'm still offering even higher than this. I'm at 30s, 33s actually. That's me there on Nasdaq. There it goes. It rips through me again. So we're putting on another one there. Not really diamond hands, but hey man, we'll take 30 cents. As Neil said, he just scratching it out of SMR. You know, it's not easy right now. So even though it's a $330 stock, we'll still take 30 cents right now. Put that money in our pocket and move on. What's up, ex-gangster? Right here, way too many posts on here, my guy. I'm gonna ban you in a couple seconds, so you might wanna stop if you wanna keep saying this. Sell gold and thank me later, right there. Sell gold and thank this dude later. So what's up, ex-gangster? Thank you for posting that all in there. We just try not to spam. We have no problem with ideas or anything like that. Just try to keep it just clean for everybody who's watching, that's all. And we're looking at the chat. So yeah, GLD, look, I'm long gold and I don't have any plans of selling anything, and I think I was actually going to get longer on gold. So if you are going to participate in this chat, Mr. or Mrs. Gangster, let us know why you think we should be selling gold right here. I mean, I think the world right now is a place where you should be owning some gold. I mean, it's really kind of gone with the market to the upside right here, continues to go higher, breaking through. I mean, until the trend changes, I actually think gold, I mean, I finally got involved on this break right here. So I'm like, oh no, what am I talking about? It was even earlier than that. I thought it was 260 something, yeah, right into there, and I didn't even buy that much gold. So I'm like, wish we were in something. There's Agnico Mines, there's a whole bunch, AEM, like what a great freaking monster trade that's been. And if anybody's been in this one, man, Agnico continues, man. This is not Agnico Collins. This is a great shout out to the Houston Texans. But this has just been an absolutely amazing name to get involved with. I mean, at the beginning of the year, you want to talk about like, all right, missed opportunities. This is $81. And I was going to say to Gangster in the chat there, I'm from Brampton, so what's up? I see you. My past my gangster life. But right here, January, this was $75. Okay, so if we're gonna talk about maybe it's too extended, some of these gold plays, I can 100% agree with that. I'd rather wait to see what earnings are gonna say about these things, and then we'll see if we can continue to moon upside right now. So AEM, Agnico, everything to do with gold, I still like it. I don't think the story's broken. We're gonna get 2 interest rate cuts probably at most this year, with an expected lower return. I have an expected lower return in my mind on the Nasdaq and on the S&P than what we've been having in the last 3 years. So I think gold is a good spot to be in, and I think the gold miners might even be better. So, you know, get a dividend. Check out what's going on with Agnico right there. But yeah, thanks for all of that, and you got us talking about gold again. So that's always a good thing. All right, over to Neil.
Yeah, and from gold to a biotechnology stock, PDSB Biotechnology. That's PDSB on the Nasdaq, everybody, and they're transforming how the immune system targets and fights cancer, with an initial focus on HPV-16 positive head and neck cancer. HPV-16 can cause head and neck cancer, and more people are facing these high-risk cancers than ever before. HPV-16 positive head and neck cancers are projected to become the most common type of head and neck cancer in the US in a few years. You can learn more at www.pdsbiotech.com. Want to thank them for sponsoring this portion of the show. Shout out to them. We appreciate them. Hey, everyone knows somebody that's been affected by cancer. I promise you that. It's one of the eternal truths. For sure. Stock tips 24/7. I liked how you handled that, Sean.
There's more, Neil.
Oh, you're the man.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. And thank you for that stock tips 247. Yeah, look, I mean, Neil and I both, we do our best on this show. Like, our opinions are really just opinions. But neither one of us, nor Sharif, nor Joe, nor Darren, nor anybody, are financial advisors or anything like that. So, you know, it's just, we look at the charts, we listen to the stories that we hear every day, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. I've been wrong way more than I've been right in my life. So, you know, I'm just glad that I made the right decision marrying that wonderful wife of mine who is not watching, and I say that anyways, of course.
The best thing you can always do, in my opinion, is to always acknowledge what you don't know. Like, I think one of the things that I think will always ring true in terms of authenticity here, and maybe not everywhere that you see, is we'll get questions all the time. And sometimes the first thing out of someone's mouth should be like, yeah, I don't really know the answer to that. I'm not an expert there. Someone asked me about options, I'm like, go ask Joe, man, because that's just not my, that's not my bag, right? Like at the end of the day, like I'm a day trader for 20 something years. I make money day trading. You know what I'm saying? Like I make a commission every single month by day trading. And ultimately that's what it is. By definition, you still end up looking at the markets over and over again and seeing patterns. And yes, we have our own long-term accounts and all that stuff. But if I haven't looked at a stock on the day, then you know I'll let you know right off the bat. Even when Dara was talking about that, I believe when I was talking about ASTI, she was mentioning a different name. You were, but here's the funny thing. The reason I went on about ASTI is because I'd been watching ASTI all day long, because I've been looking at this stock to see whether it squells through that high. So that was the example, the first example that came to my mind, thinking immediately that symbol, because that's what I was watching on the day. I hadn't even looked at the other one at any point, but I can tell you I had been watching this to see if it failed that $7 level, which it kind of is not. You know what's actually jokes? Northwestern, great, I'm assuming this is a company. Northwestern Canopy Development. Neil made millions trading. So here at Real Trading, and when we were playing poker there was a poker game at another trader's office. Some guys that used to trade on the floor here when there was a floor, and some other older traders. I was there. Obi came out as well. And one of the things that got talked about is there used to be swag when you hit certain milestones. And Sean and I would gripe about it because you were not eligible if you owned your own office. So they actually used to have, like, there used to be a plaque for like $1 million traders. Like if you own your own office, you don't get to go on the plaque. There was like a leather jacket. I forget the level for the leather jacket, but they were like, hey, do we get the leather jacket? They're like, no, you own your own office. You're not a trader anymore. And it's like, oh, that kind of sucks. But ultimately, the one thing I would say about trading is like trading is a game in which your only goal is to make money, and ultimately. Like you're not holding, you can sometimes like a stock because there's news that day, right? Like you could say, I like BBAI long today because there's fundamental news. Like they made an acquisition today. But ultimately, you're just buying it to sell it at a higher price. Like that news doesn't really extend past, you know, that one day. So when we give opinions, like I don't mind like saying on CRISPR, like for myself, when we made it the pick, and I had actually, and the funny thing is I hadn't owned it. It was the only pick. All three last year, pick of the year, I own all three of them. This year, I pivoted from CRISPR, from Boeing to CRISPR, so it was the only one that I didn't actually own. I did pick it up because to me, like out of the, just from a pure principle standpoint, like I'm not making a pick of my year that I don't own or haven't bought. That's just my 2 cents. So I didn't pick it up there, but it's a technical trade. Kathy Wood, if you want to hear the reasons why CRISPR is going to be the next fantastic company, go ask Kathy Wood. She's been invested in it forever. She probably has a much better idea than I do. I'll say that much. Zen Zombie, thank you for the super chat. Small caps uptrend ARBE input, please. This was a good one. I don't know if Sharif was on this one. I only say that because it fit every single one of his rules, I guess. I don't know, the rules. It broke the pre-market high. It's above yesterday's high. It wasn't a huge gapper. It's riding VWAP in a very clear uptrend all day long. So this fit all of his criteria. If you look at Luis, who trades small caps every single day on his floor, it fits none of his criteria. They would not have touched this with a 10-foot pole because they only go short, or they prefer short mostly. I don't think he said they only go short. I believe what he said is they mostly go short. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But yeah, this is holding a nice upward trend. Do we have free locates here? I don't want to pay at 330. We do.
Okay, good.
That's interesting. You get so accustomed to watching a stock like this up 40% where it's not free to short. I would caution that. So yeah, at Real Trading, some of the worst days for traders trading small caps are when there's a small cap which is going ham. That's free locates. And the reason for that is when you don't have to pay to go short, people take an exorbitant amount of shots at it because it's like, oh, I'm not paying for the locate, I'll just keep going short. That's why I like an approach that is, it breaks the trend, I take the shot. It goes to VWAP, that's my target. The prior bar hits, I'm out. So it's kind of a binary play. But yeah, because it is free to locate, I probably can take this. Only about 30 minutes to go until we get the close, and then Intel earnings after the bell. Early looks are nothing. NCLH for 1 million shares. NU. Intel we won't know until 350 because it's a Nasdaq stock.
Yeah, market looking lower here. It looks like it's going to break. We just went long into Google and was able to get something. We're going to get out if this breaks 329.50, the low of the day. And this is, in a boring market, it tends to go higher. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But now that we've broken through VWAP, we have to stop. Well, we're not really doing anything. Our net is kind of just hanging out right now, but it's starting to get a little worse. There goes, the market's starting to get a little bit worse. There goes the futures downside there. Again, we had about 1 unit in total on that trade. We were long at 77s, all said and done, and we get out on a 60 break. So, we'll lose 17 cents on this, just kind of like is what it is. We'll get to Super Chat when we get back from Madeira.
Just be aware here, guys. GitLab moving GTLB. I am seeing some people on X talking about this moving, but they're not seeing any news. So just be aware GTLB is moving with no identifiable news as of right now. DAL on watch news, but not a huge move. Company announcing they do see some cancellations in North Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Tennessee. Some cancellations needed for apparently safety over a storm front. So keep an eye here in DAL, canceling some flights. Back to you.
Okay, it's hilarious. Every single time GitLab is up, I say the same. I'm almost just like dump it, short the pops on GitLab, short the pops, short the pops, short the pops. That's what it does every single time. Logman 001, the Don Dada. You guys doing awesome. Thank you very much, Logman, sorry. You trading, it's like long is in my head.
Yep.
Love the show, have it on every market day. You made money with some of the ideas. Been actively trading since the early 90s.
All right.
But I still learn a little every day. Keep it up. Well, you've been trading longer than we have, early 90s. And that's the thing, the market is always going to show you something. There's always something happening that didn't happen before. It is 3:30, and thank you for the super chat. We need to go up to Sia at the desk. It is time for Money Talks.
Thank you so much, Neil. We're going to quickly take a dive into it right away. Australian dollar is on surge after the job data was revealed. Aussie jobs data has exceeded expectations, moving AUD to one-year high against the USD and has lifted AUD-USD towards 0.68 level, which is pretty good news. And also, USD pressure from the Fed outlook. The US dollar is facing currently a downward pressure as markets are pricing into Federal Reserve cuts in 2026. Recent U.S. jobless claims have improved odds for cuts, weighing the USD pairs like Euro near 1.17 and GBP around 1.34. There are also concerns over certain Fed independence under President Trump as we know it. There are also reasons that are adding to the bearish sentiment. And moving on to the Japanese yen, has climbed towards 159, with the yen hitting multi-month lows amid Japan's debt crisis. Let's take a look at the chart here. Analysts are also warning of potential Japanese intervention if the yen weakens further. And safe haven flows are providing limited support, but there are certain geopolitical tensions as we know it that are simmering. But that's about it for Money Talks, and back to the guys.
Thank you very much. As always, Sia. Oh my goodness, how the GitLab is.
Thank you very much.
Not only is it a short, the pops.
GitLab, yeah, what the hell's going on with it?
Yeah, but it could be, this could be coming into a legit 2-day shortable. Like if it gets into $38, $39, prior low, 50 period, kind of that idea, give it 1 day, one more day. It's a hefty move to the upside, but it's like $2 away from a big resistance spot, whether it's a 50 period or it's support and resistance. I like the confluence of the fact that it was a support level before breaking down, and then you also get the 50 period moving average. So it kind of works in both directions. And the thing about your rules is sometimes that's how it is. Like it wicks the prior bar, that's my reverse entry, it wicks the top, and then the dump happens in SMR. So once again, SMR will wait another day for it to break this consolidation. Just feel it's going to be worth it. If you can ever hold above this 21 level, I feel like the breakout is looming for this stock. It just still in that consolidative phase, unfortunately, on the higher time frame. And one of the other things that I like about the potential for SMR, if we'll load up here, is you've got Oklo basically doing the same thing. It's like both of these stocks, which in the nuclear space are seen as potential like rocket ships, like that kind of a deal. They're both just straight up consolidating on the 50-period moving average. So I kind of feel like if they both start going, it's like, oh, rising tide lifts all ships. The shorts might be short the space, and they're both getting blown out at the same, not blown out, but they're both covering at the same time. So you pick and choose your poison, probably trade SMR. I just feel like the moves are better. Still have a piece of the stock. I still own a third of the stock, but it's closer to the 13 entry than it was before. Let's just say that. Much, much closer. We already got Longman in there. Datek. Oh, Longman. This was what I was going to ask you in the chat. Just out of my pure curiosity, did you trade before decimalization? Like, did you get to trade when they were trading the eighths? Because that was a wild time, so I have heard. But I've never actually spoken to a trader who was actively trading before decimalization. I heard that was fantastic and fun opportunities out there. The market's always changing and adapting. You just got to adapt with it. But that was a big one of the biggest changes, probably the biggest change for trading outside of, I mean, the NYSE, going away from the flow brokers was probably a big one as well.
Oh, well, the decimals changed everything, like how much, like where your stop orders, like how much you can lose. You can lose 16 cents every trade, like that was the spread, right? So, to be careful with that would have been an interesting time back in history of trading. That is for darn sure right now. Okay, just moving forward now. Yeah, silver has pulled back a little bit. I want to look at SMR. I was very lucky to get out of SMR at $57. Honestly, there's only two stocks that I can talk like this in the history of my, well, probably not the history, but Oracle. I told you guys at 317 or 319, and then SMR somehow $57. Like, don't even know how. We were same long in the 11s or 12s, out 57 for SMR, bought back in. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening with SMR. But yeah, good trade that was to get in and out of that name. And we'll wait to see if it gets back up there to the upside. AMD hitting VWAP right now, maybe. I mean, we only have it's very short timing right now, what we have left in this day. But AMD, not really hitting VWAP, but nice move to the downside here for AMD right now as the whole market continues to push lower. I mean, this could be an imbalance situation here for sure. If we wanted to have a quick little look, the imbalances are coming. They haven't really, you saw Apple make that move down there the last couple of days. We've seen some big moves on the imbalance. We've seen the market actually fade off into the close. So I should have really maybe thought about that and gone short on everything instead of trying to go long, but not much here, man. Pretty mixed. So GDXJ, that's going to be the gold miners. That's going to come as a sell. Government bonds there. TDOC with a little bit of a sell. These are going to be all New York names, right? The Nasdaq names get populated at 350. So that's when, these will all become public knowledge and we'll see the market react to some sort of a move. We did go long on Apple against 240. Yeah, so good thing we're out against 249. That goes down. Didn't think this was going to happen there, but as you can see, the futures, wow. We may turn red at some point here today on the futures, man. There's no stopping it. There's only 20 minutes to go. So I don't want to think like this is for sure going to go red, but it is looking closer and closer that this bottom will be looked at one more time. I still always use that 25,000 as some sort of mental block, but it's at 25.5 now, so we're a little ways away from that. But here come the futures right back to the downside. And then the other trade that so first of all, let's check back in on Tesla. Yeah, actually Tesla's been okay. We made money on this one, went long there, dropped it once it broke through the level that we were long, and it's kind of just bouncing around. Maybe a good pickup if this goes to the 200 period for some kind of support. And then the other trade that we got out of was Google, 329.50. Wow. Now it's down, it's just touching 328.70s here. So saved ourselves a lot by getting out. I mean, I wish we would have cranked over into the short, but we did not do that. Roblox has been on a good little run lately as well. Is that back over 100? No, 74. So actually opposite of what I thought right there for Roblox. It was on a nice run, wasn't it? Yeah, right there. It's now 3 or 4 down days right there. So it does get to 90 and then whoops, right back. Yeah, wow. Okay, right, man, they really got hit on that bad day.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, and then no recovery yesterday, so that's a good sign for the short, right? There's the sort of Tuesday when we had Greenland. Of course, so many people in Greenland playing Roblox, so that makes a lot of sense why that goes to the downside. And then right into there, $76. Again, we lose another $4 the next day yesterday. And now today it looks like, you know, down another 1.3%. So it's not looking great as we stare down right now Roblox, as that's making, I guess, a new low. And that could be a really good break, actually, right there. What price is that? This could be tomorrow.
That is
$72. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, 72 on Roblox is a flat bottom break. Whether you want it to happen or not, it still is one. As I believe, with 20 minutes to go and 10 minutes to the imbalances, let's go to Adara.
No news, guys, but I do want to let you know it's a whole bunch of earnings after the bell and tomorrow morning before the bell, believe it or not. Here is our implied moves calendar. There are 3 that are the largest implied move. We've got Alaska Airlines just under 12%. They're going to be reporting well after the bell, but tomorrow morning, both Ericsson and Booz Allen Hamilton have an expected move of 10.7%. Of course, the biggest name, though, in this list, it's not even close, is going to be Intel. INTC, Neil, myself, Sean, Brendan, here, 4 p.m. after the bell. Don't be late. Infographics, earning coverage, live social media coverage on XTV Research. What could be better? I don't know. Check it out, 4 p.m. Eastern. Back to you.
No good earnings Mondays or Fridays, of course. But
Palantir used to always, didn't Palantir used to report on Mondays, like back in the, I feel like
They still do a lot of the time, but it's after the bell.
Yeah, they're a Monday report. There's just all of
Monday
the best
blues.
names report Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
okay.
It's the same thing with IPOs. Like all the big IPOs, I don't know why this is true, happen on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
They happen midweek.
Always midweek and the middle of the day because they can't seem to figure it out. We need that for a change. So 20 minutes to go. Intel is the big one. They're down today. Not really moving. Kind of a weirdly boring day for Intel after straight up fireworks. That's what I was trying to show you. Fireworks 2 days in a row, arguably 3 days in a row. Then you get an inside day for Intel. So they're just settling this one down, going into a print where we're expecting, well, they're expecting 8 cents. So, you know, the bar's not that high, everybody. Let's be real with this one.
Intel?
Well, look at, you're going from, they hit the 8 cents and at current prices, they'd be trading at 80 times or something close to that. So you just don't want to miss in this particular case. But when you're turning the corner from not making profits to back to making profits, sometimes you have outrageous PE. So I don't, like, you can't treat Intel's PE right now like you would like a Palantir. Like they're rounding back into some semblance of normality. So you'll probably take a few quarters for that to normalize. Still nothing big on the early look. UiPath wasn't there before. It's now 1.1 million to sell. Teladoc, which we never talk about, is almost 1 million early look sell side. I couldn't even tell you where Teladoc is right now. Let's make some guesses. $6. Whatever. Oh, man, this is another one of these. What an absolute mess. Wasn't this this was $180. I want to say the high. I want to say the high was $180 on Teladoc. Maybe. Oh, I'm wrong. Oh, I'm way wrong. $300.
Ooh.
I know why. I know why I was thinking $180 because I knew $180 was a key level on the stock. For some reason, I thought it was the high. No, this is where it caught a bid after it dropped 300 to 180 and then fell apart like a rock. Well, if you liked it at $300, you must love it at 26. But the imbalance on this, or whatever the heck it is now, $6. The imbalance, 900,000 shares. The only reason it's decent, that's a quarter of the day's volume. So maybe this could be something. Intel could always show up at 350. UiPath, $1 million's not bad. It's not huge. NVIDIA came out of nowhere yesterday, but it actually came out as an imbalance. It was nothing, and then right at 355, or just before 355, then it showed up. So just because you see nothing at 350 doesn't mean there isn't an imbalance to be had somewhere else, because NVIDIA did move a little bit late.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? All right, so I did take a little bit longer there in Palantir. We actually get a 165 fill, I think 165.03 right there. We take it out at 21 or 22s, I guess, there as it moves up. I'm now waiting at 25. We'll see if we can get a fill there as well. And then just the reason why this is a 20-cent trade for me. You know, Palantir just fell right into here again. I'm going to give it, that bottom wick is 95. You know, we've just been chasing these longs and at real cheap prices right now. I think it's just worth the risk there for a very, very tight stop if you're day trading. try to add 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever, to your net at the end of the day. We'll see if it can wind up being a fruitful one at that for Palantir. If not, it breaks lower, man. A third of a unit on this. Nothing to worry about on that one, right? If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's Palantir. We're waiting for 25s. We'll take out another piece, and we'll see if we can hold half and then really get this name going here. And I have no idea what those imbalances are going to bring. If they do bring upside, then give me that 25. Yes, sir. This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, we go back and forth here, and, you know, Palantir was going to be a red stock for me today, and it may still be. This was the one that we took early on, and it just kept on falling back in, and then I didn't have, I don't know, there wasn't something about me right there that we didn't go long down there. I know we were already long Google by a lot, so that was part of the reason, but there it comes right back in again, up to 25s. We'll take another piece out there for Palantir, give us that 20 cents. First 20 cents worth of risk. So we like that one. All right, shout out to Maestro Fresh West. The guy's getting a stamp here in Canada. So he's letting his backbone slide as they celebrate Black History Month. Shout out to Maestro Fresh West getting a stamp here in Canada. I put a stamp of approval, not a fail, an approval stamp on that one.
I was kind of like Sean Claire better than
the Maestro. Oh, no way, not even close for me. Okay, so just real quick, Palantir upside, yeah, 2 Canadian rappers there, Chocolate.
Everyone's like, who?
Yeah, people's like, who, what the?
Cardinal.
Chocolate.
Cardinal.
Chocolate Rain. I put, my daughter was singing, there's some sort of Purple Rain meme stuff going on right now, so we watched Prince and his halftime show. Man, honestly, after you watch Prince, like, Kendrick should be embarrassed. All these guys should just be straight out embarrassed.
Yeah, but Prince is built different. Prince is
obviously
one of the greatest musicians of all time.
That's what I'm saying. It's like crazy.
That's an unfair comparison.
Well, obviously, I don't compare Kendrick, a mediocre rapper, to Prince, but I was just saying, like, my kids watch it, like, she was like, wow, this is like really, really, and it was raining, unfortunately, in his performance there. But
the guy is he's literally insane.
Yeah, he's royalty, basically.
Yeah, he is.
Too bad that, I don't know what it was, sleeping pills or what it was there, but yeah, anyways. There goes Palantir, man. You know what? This is what we're doing. So there goes Palantir, nicely cooking now, up a little bit for PLTR. Just waiting to see where this one winds up going. I am at 40s, so we just got missed there. We'll see if we can get a piece out there at 165.40 for PLTR. You know, I'll take another 30. Let's just offer 30. There we go. We get another 30 out. And then we'll wait to see if it sort of matures up. Right now, yes, Purple Rain, yes, of course, for Prince. There it goes. So let's see if we get 165.40 coming in. Imbalance is just 3 minutes away, so we could easily get taken out of this. So we'll take some more out here. We're out of half already.
Yeah, exactly. With 3 minutes to go till the imbalances, for sure we'll be locked and loaded, ready to go. I'm watching, you know what, I decided I don't like Teladoc, not good enough. Path, too small. I'll just have Intel up. That's the name that we're most interested in, but QBTS, that is showing up as 1.1 million to the sell side. It was a bad day for Quantum yesterday. It was a relief rally kind of day. Today, D-Wave, great shot play. They don't make anything. There was a couple upgrades in the space. And it was, I think these guys got an upgrade and the price target was like $40-something. No. I chuckle at that. They don't make money now, and the price upgrade was all the way to all-time highs. Only 5% up on the day. But what I do like about this setting up for tomorrow is it has the Palantir setup. Liquidity grab prior day, a hold the higher low, but you need to break out up here at $28.50. I feel like it's going to be just far enough away that it might not make the list, but it's close enough that it could on QBTS. And I don't care about the upgrade personally. It just a technical trade on that bad boy. Be careful there, Fabian. So we're going to see what happens on these imbalances. Again, I don't necessarily want to just jump in because I see a big number. Like Intel would have to be 5 million or something like that. QBTS comes out over 1 million, that actually would be pretty good. But the litmus test for the bigger stocks is pretty significant because Intel's done, what are we at here? 125 million shares. Intel. So think of how big Intel's imbalance would have to be to actually move the stock. Gotta be pretty big.
All right, did we get our 40s? No, we did not, but we took a 35 instead. So we're sitting here. We're going to wait to see what we wind up getting on these imbalances. But so far, so good for this Palantir trade. We'll just see if it wants to work out. We're waiting for 40s. Hopefully that comes in. We're just moments away from that imbalance. Neil just went over Intel. We know we haven't looked at all this afternoon is NVIDIA. Obviously, the dog that wags the tail here in the chip space. 184, bad, right? Like this was up to 186 and change today, and it's really fallen back in on this futures move lower right now. So yeah, not great sign here for NVIDIA, giving a little bit back, but we're still positive on the day, and it's matching the market. So hard to complain there. We already looked at AMD, some Broadcom love. I like Broadcom. There's no doubt about that. A good stock, but needs to come back in. Some of these PEs are just a little bit too atrocious. We've talked about that. You want to talk about a PE problem that apparently isn't one anymore? Look, PE problems are only problems when the market's going down and people are looking for things to blame. You know, Costco, it's not like they came out with a banger report or anything like that. Boom. People say, leave Costco alone. Its PE is too high. Is it? It's all the way back with the exact same PE now. So, you know, it's momentum that moves stocks. We talked about this with OB yesterday a little bit, or he did. Anyways, we'll see what happens now with Costco. That is straight up $120 there out of nowhere. We don't even really have a dark day here for Costco. This is maybe its worst day since it started this move. Actually, this is just beginning of the year. So I think this was a rotation from people sold into the year, and then as soon as Jan 1 hit, they just said, nah, we like it, buy that stock back up there. There goes Costco. As of course, we still wait for the government and the Supreme Court rule on that. All right, here we go, man. We are getting ready to go. These imbalances will be loaded up in just a matter of seconds. And over 3, 2, 1, we are now out of these imbalances. So let's have a quick look to see what's going on right now. Intel does come out with a small little buy. That's okay. That does get us our Palantir 40 fill. I don't know if it's on here. Robinhood, just trying to find names that you guys might like. ONDS. Robinhood with a little bit of a sell. We'll see if that goes to the downside. Not much else on here for me today. We didn't talk about Freeport today. I don't know if I just saw that on there or not. But that's about it. Okay, Palantir finally trying to get going here. Let's see if it can.
What the heck happened to ONDS? So ONDS
it was a sell. I saw it on there.
Small sell.
Small, yeah.
Nothing happened just now. It's what happened to it in the afternoon. ONDS is one of those popular, well, I mean, a lot of people online are in love with the stock, and it's been doing pretty well on the daily chart. But 600,000 imbalance, the stock has done 109 million. That's not going to do anything. What else might be moving that is not being affected by the imbalances? Because, heck, that's a nothing burger on Intel. Tesla is trying to get back up to the highs. Remember, there was a news story with Tesla. Hey, they're whipping, they got a robotaxi whipping around, whether it has a follow car or not. Looks like the proof of concept is starting to get rolled out there. You had Elon talking today, although when Elon was at Davos, he was speaking mostly, he talked a lot about Optimus and I guess the niche that will fulfill, which I tend to believe. I agree with him on this one. I don't know when they'll be able to roll out these Optimus robots, but just in terms of, like, you think about, like, senior care, like, and I know this is going into iRobot, but like in iRobot, like he literally gets the robot for his mom because he wants his mom to have help. Like, I think about that all the time. Like, if it was priced reasonably and it can do these simple tasks, why wouldn't you? Like, elder care is going to be a huge hole to fill. The question becomes, Elon, can you get this done in the next 2 years? Like he says, which I'm a little skeptical of that.
I mean, that's what robo-taxis are trying to do, the same thing, right? Just call the taxi. You don't have to even worry about it. Get in, get out.
Money.
Use some of today's trading profits to get into a taxi if you want. Take a nice, safe ride home. There's Palantir, man. I mean, there it is. Another 50 or 60 cent winner there for, you know, I mean, we're still not going to be positive on it because, like I said, we only took a third of a unit down there. You want to see bigger trades, you got to join me in the morning when we'll put on bigger trades. And the biggest trade today for me with only 7 minutes left is Google. So that was a really good one, man. Nice move. Okay, there we go. Palantir just gave me 60s. That's a good trade. This was a big one. You know, we actually were flat about, or maybe slightly. Oh, this was the big one. But then after this it all happened, we were still up. Came back in, watched it really absorb. It broke 330 right there. Came back in. We took the bid again. Took another bid there, giving it 50 cents, and then it was just Rip City back to the north side there for Google. And we'll just continue the trend here tomorrow and see what winds up happening with Google, pretty much following the market. You see the market makes a bottom there, market comes back up, Google comes back up, there's the market. And then, you know, Palantir was a good trade today until it wasn't. Bid out, bid again and out. Nothing wrong there. Earlier on, just back and forth with Palantir. And I told you, using a little bit more shares here, so we'll be slightly red on that name there today. Apple, hey, we gave this a go right there at 249, right into the close. But again, does not hold, just drifts lower. Volume picked up near the end of the day, so that was a good one. And then obviously Tesla, let's go, man. We'll say, what's up, Brendo? And we will cheer on Tesla as it just gets right back to those highs again in and around 450. So we'll see if the story for Tesla tomorrow or this afternoon, like right now, a break of 450 is imminent. Its high of the day is not 450, it's like 449.50. So we still have a ways to go a little bit to the upside there. But yeah, really good base for Tesla. Came right into that 200 period and based out. That 446, that should have been a long right there. So if we just would have gone on Tesla instead of any of the other names, we may have had a little bit more success. Yes, Charlie, I do believe 1,000% there that tomorrow Tesla should be in. Here it is. I'll put this up. Tesla should be a big day tomorrow. But hey, we're having a big day right in front of everybody. I mean, this Palantir is now 70 cents, and we had just took it. So there we go, man. We're living in our own little world here. But that's a nice move upside for Palantir, 165.72, as we're now 5 minutes away from Intel.
5 minutes until Intel. We do expect them after the close. Maybe they won't be as prompt as Netflix was pretty much right away. We'll see what happens. But it is now 1.9 million. That's still not going to move Intel that much. And I would suspect with 3:55, 20 seconds away, what you're likely to see is that 1.9 million, which is slightly driving the stock higher. Not a huge move, it's still inside range. Probably going to pair that off. Intel almost always pairs off, let alone on earnings day. And even the open interest in the close is pretty small. It's only 5 million shares paired, so the total imbalance is like 7 million into 128 million shares done on the day. That's just not going to cut it. And you have to have, that's the thing, like I find there's an imbalance trade like once every couple of months if you're discretionary about it. And then just, you want, when it's there, then you want to hit it, and when it's not, you don't want to overtrade them. Because I've seen too many traders like, oh, there's some kind of a buy imbalance, just go along, you'll be fine. So as said, Intel pairs half of it off, 1.9 to 900,000. It's still going a little bit higher though. So if you took the trade, it actually holds on despite the fact that it just paired off that imbalance. Does look like it is going to close flattish, but almost green here on Intel. If I was a betting man, I'd say any miss on the top. You always care about the guide and you want to see the line items. That's all. We're going to cover everything for you as the numbers come out. But if the top line misses, my suspicion is you're down at least 5% right away. But it's not necessarily the top and bottom lines that matter the most for Intel. I think the bigger deal is what's the data center looking like? What's the update on the fab business? What are any comment on the yields in the call? Like those are the things that you're going to care more about here for Intel. It will move on the top and bottom, but I don't think that's the differentiator as to where it's going to be tomorrow morning.
All right, yeah, and because I have no idea where it's going to be, I sold a quarter of my position yesterday, so I'm waiting to see what winds up happening with Intel here at the close. Sold a quarter of my position yesterday on Intel, and got a few people messaging me last night about Intel, and I told them that I did that. So I don't know what they're going to wind up doing. I mean, if this thing gets to 65 bucks, selling a quarter won't look like a good move, but we did sell a little bit of that. It's gone very, very parabolic there. This was $45 2 days ago, now $55 today. So I am a seller of Intel before the earnings report. I was waiting at one. I mean, right now we're getting, I might just take this 60 cents right here, to be honest with you, in this name. And then of course this name is Palantir. I'm waiting at O's. I don't know if it's going to get there. You know what we could do? We could just take out half right here at 63s. Okay, there it is. We crossed with ARCA and see what winds up happening. So we're going to do that right now. See what winds up happening here with Palantir. I'll put the offer up at 80s. All right, if it fills 79. If it fills that, then we'll take it out and we'll just move on with Palantir. So far so good. Let's see if it gets it to us. We're at 79. Close out the trade and just say thank you to everybody. And I hope some of you. Let's go. That's it. I hope some of you had it there on PLTR. Big trade there to end the day. So I hope you guys got that one. There it goes. We're going to finish the day near the top of our day, so that's going to be pretty good. Yeah, all right, so it's Intel time. I don't know if we have enough time for a poll. Right there, there it is. Thank you to Easy Peasy there. Went from 3K to 1K. Bad stop, but still donating, so we really want to say thank you to that. Still looks like you got a chicken dinner winner around here.
Green is green, my friend.
Green is green, yes. So that's a good day for sure. All right, man, 2 minutes left. Brendan, give us a little bit of a preview over here.
All right, we'll catch the close on this side of the world and let the guys get turned around here, and we'll get ready for what is about to come. And that is the INTC earnings report getting bought up, worth noting, getting bought up into this report. I mean, I haven't seen anything coming across yet, not a lot of volume. Could just be a little bit of a earnings bell type of a rally here. Darrell with me as well. We'll bring these numbers to you as soon as they come out or come across. I haven't seen anything in Darrell. What are you expecting?
What I'm expecting is hopefully some kind of growth in the Foundry side of things. I was mentioning during the midday, it's interesting because last quarter, all of their segments had year-over-year improvements, except for data and AI and Foundry, which is really not what you want to see. So I think if they get some kind of year-over-year improvement in that, if we start to see that data center AI side of things making up more of their revenue, I think that'd be a really good look. Until then, I don't know, honestly, Brendan, but I think that's really what we need to see from Intel.
Just double checking here, 5 p.m. officially the start of the earnings call. So if you are going to stick around for some comments from executives, you're going to have to wait until 5 p.m. to do so. This thing is up, guys, 90+% since the Trump administration announcement is Intel. So it's been just an absolute monster, or the low that came after that announcement, and then the rally that continued after the fact. So we'll bring this to you as soon as it comes out here for Intel. It is scheduled for right at 4 o'clock. We are still being bought up into the number here, guys. But yeah, earnings call coming up at 5 p.m. We're about 10 seconds away from the closing bell on the market as well. If we do get, there is notably a few other things coming through here at 4 o'clock. Capital One, Alcoa, CSX Corporation, to name a few. Nothing else anywhere close to as important as Intel itself. So we'll keep an eye out here, guys, for Intel. Just, it's worth noting we did get to session highs or some of those resistance points that came into play around midday for Intel. We'll have a look here, guys. Thoughts on the price action into the close?
It was muted buying into the close on Intel. I mean, it went like 30 or 40 cents, so not even a full percentage point there, which is indicative of what the day was overall. Compared to the rockets, we've been seeing double digits, 8, 9, 10% on Intel mostly. So the fact that it gave you an inside day, it just means that people were a little bit uncertain going in, which makes a heck of a lot of sense. You're getting a little bit of a bounce upside here. Again, we're expecting 8 cents a share. That'll be the top line or the bottom line number there. We'll see about the revenue as well, but no action just yet. I tend to think it's going to be, well,
there it is lower, 51, $50. $50. The tank is on right now. Intel down $51, looking pretty smart here finally, selling something near the top. But let's go, we'll get these numbers in just a matter of seconds, but there it is. It's a downside move. The full quarter, full year are both out right now on the EPS. Adjusted earnings of 0. I'm hearing 0. Go ahead.
So I'm not seeing those adjusted earnings of 0. They could be adjusted. I guess I'm seeing non-adjusted here, but it looks like revenue is down year over year. We're going to have to wait and see again. I'm always cautious when I'm seeing like the first round of numbers, but yeah, I was not seeing 0, but again, that could be the adjusted number. I'm seeing 15 cents a share. Okay, now I'm seeing everything revenue. 13.67 billion, beating estimates of 13.4 billion. Q1 revenue outlook, though, for 2026, going to be below estimates for the most part, 11.7 billion to 12.7 billion versus estimates of 12.51 billion. So Q1 revenue outlook a bit shaky. Adjusted EPS, so 15 cents versus 8 cents expected. Adjusted, it does beat. Q1 adjusted EPS outlook, they're expecting 0 cents. That could have been what you heard there versus 5 cents expected. So missing on Q1 revenue and EPS outlook, beating on revenue and EPS outlook for the current quarter.
Yes, a lot of mixed numbers coming through here on the forecast side, it looks like, for Intel. We are getting a notable bounce here, guys, well off the lows here, off that $50.
I mean, I don't care if you are bouncing. You can't have the guide be 0 on the EPS.
Bad.
Like you just got back to some profitability recently, and you're going to have a slight beat of 15 cents versus 8, and now you're going to come out and say the next quarter is going to be 0. Well, I'm expecting this to be down. The fact that it's only down 5 points right now isn't even that bad, to be honest with you. So maybe there's going to be some. Maybe they're going to have good comments about their yields. Who the heck knows? But just from that EPS number, I'm going to say yuck. And surprised it's catching a bid, could be a $50 thing. Like we get right into the $50 level, could just be that it pulled technically back into some prior, like the prior high here on the daily was 50 bucks, and it's a round number, and we got Friday tomorrow, so it could have just had an initial bounce off a key price level, but that is not looking good for Intel. They're up. I mean, you went from $19 when the president took a stake, when the U.S. government took a stake in Intel, and you're all the way into the 50s. So you know some people that rode along are looking for a place to take profits because they wanted the fundamentals to catch up. Well, guess what? That guy tells you that maybe they haven't.
Yeah, no, zeros is not good. That's that number that we did wind up hearing. So we'll wait to see on Intel. Expected 15 cents, 8 cents versus expected 15 right now. So Intel continues to move around. And I don't know what to think. I mean, tomorrow we'll come in. We'll see what the price action is. If it breaks below $50, I would say this is a decent sell. But I mean, I'd mentioned that I was getting a little lighter, obviously, in this name. And so far, so good. We'll see if it continues to make that move down in. I think if you're looking to buy something, this 44 area could be a piece, as that was sort of the last breakout area right there. But Intel down 5%, not a great move here to start with. I don't know what it was up today, but we closed at 54.50, and now you're down about $3 from there. So yeah, Intel, Brendan, not having a great move here, but you know, it's pretty meme-ish right now, guys. Like the stock is like, it can just go up because people say, you know what, we're in there buying, like tomorrow's gonna be, we're gonna buy all the calls. So we're gonna just wait to see what winds up happening. We saw this action in Netflix. Yeah. Netflix touched 82 or 83, closed at 85 when we left the show. So here it is, man, 51.60, kind of as expected, pretty calm actually here for Intel.
Given that it has had this move, path of least resistance, maybe to the downside initially, a little bit of profit taking or a reason for it anyways. Anything specific? I mean, there's no real comments around any of the individual divisions. Whether we'll have to wait for the earnings call to come up with something along those lines remains to be seen, unless you have something.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, we do have data center and AI revenue up 9% year over year. I'm still working on that visual. Just going to update that for you guys. Client computing group revenue, which was up year over year last quarter, that's down 7% year over year. Total products revenue down 1% year over year. Foundry revenue up 4% year over year. So as I was saying, a lot of these areas where we're kind of worrying about Intel, they've actually done quite well this quarter. So I will give them that. Though again, that guidance, as Neil said, I think is probably the most concerning aspect of this report. That's for sure. Their adjusted gross margin for Q1 2026, I don't think this has been mentioned yet. They guided lower for Q1, 34.5% versus the estimates of 36.5%. But adjusted gross margin this quarter also down 4.2 points year over year.
Given that we have the participation now in Intel from the Trump administration, I mean, is this good or bad, guys?
Well, I mean, the participation by the administration is good. I don't care.
No, I'm just talking about the
numbers are bad.
The reaction.
The reaction is bad. Yeah. I think people that have joined the ride are going to be like, okay, well, this is an excuse to take some profit. Like you're going to tell me, like Intel's the only place where that Foundry 4% growth in Foundry. Like it's the only company where that's fantastic because it's bleeding money and it lost last quarter. So it doesn't look that impressive. Here's the other crazy thing: cheaper. Like, TSM PE is going to be cheaper going in this by a significant amount, right? Like there's a lot that has to go right. I think it's a lot of profit taking initially. I am pleasantly surprised that it is bouncing the way that it is off this $50 level. Like if you had told me, like Netflix yesterday eventually ended up bouncing off that support. It didn't. Like, we were covering this. It didn't bounce while we were here. It bounced in the aftermarket, or it bounced in the pre-market today, or yesterday, and then it bounced for the rest of the day. Intel seems to be bouncing right now off 50 bucks, and I can't really think of a fundamental reason in the report why you'd be that optimistic. So maybe somebody knows something, or maybe it's confidence that the U.S. government, despite saying they're not too big or important to fail, they're going to keep holding them up. Progress has been made, but I just feel like this is still going to be a little bit of a disappointment. But the chart's telling you the story. There's no way to sugarcoat the fact that on the daily chart, we are literally back to that 50 level. Like you can see the prior highs at 50, and we broke those out yesterday. The dip goes right into the prior highs and holds. So that's a stair step to the upside until proven otherwise. Like Sean said, if it doesn't bust through 50 to the downside, where's your fault? You're not falling apart if we don't lose 50, period.
No, and I think that what you want to do is wait for that call, because let's hear what they're going to talk about. Is there an idea that the government's given them? When are they going to exit that stake? What does that look like? Why? Let's find out why that guide is so bad. Like, why are we down to 0 right now?
Exactly.
They just pushed 15 cents in the quarter. So just quickly here, ISRG right now up 2.5%. That's another release today, as is Capital One. So Capital One down slightly as well. So ISRG up, Intuitive Surgical, Capital One down. And then here is Intel. Here, $52. So yeah, just wait. I think the conference call, what is that, Adair, 5 o'clock for that conference call? So yeah, sees Q1 2026 adjusted EPS of 0 cents. That's what I'm just reading right now. That's not right there. But okay, so we're just going to watch out for this, see what happens on the conference call. You know, this is something new that we're going to do. We have next week's big, man, Wednesday, Thursday.
Baby.
A big next week. We'll have many different names to talk about. This is our sort of round table. Right beside me, we're going to be able to have Sharif and Joe, Adair and Brendan right in front of us. We're really excited for this new look. Just gives you sort of an idea of the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. Look behind the screen right there, behind Brendan. We got the earnings right there, the revenue, everything's up right there, the EPS. Anything you need is right here, right now. So what an awesome opportunity for us to look at these names and to discuss them with you. Now, I've lost my cursor here. Oh, here it is. Because you know what I wanted to do was actually, yeah, unfortunately, here it is. I wanted to look to see what the fallout was, Brendo and Darren Neal, on some of these other names. So AMD right now ticking a little lower into 251. AMD closes 254 down to 251. I think they should all be down. All right, because if they're going to guide lower, then what does that say for the chip space? NVIDIA, Neil already said TSM downside. NVIDIA's not really moving too much again. And remember, this like NVIDIA, Intel is really this foundry business, obviously, Neil, and the PC spot. So Broadcom, NVIDIA, they're in a little bit of a different game with these GPUs. So we're not really seeing the push or pull on anything here. If anything, it would be AMD continuing moving a little lower here into the close and after the close. So yeah, man, Intel $50. Let's just look. All this means is we're going to get excited for tomorrow. I think this is going to give some great opportunities. Make sure you guys join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. and we'll definitely see sort of the push and pull here from this Intel. The call is going to be so important. For me on the price action, and then we'll throw it back, it's right here. We've just tried to hold this bottom, and there it goes. You're about to test it right now. Here's a nice downside move for Intel, breaking through 51.50. I feel like they had to hold that. These little wicks, Neil, as you know, are algorithmic.
Yes.
So it comes down to 50, gets bought up. That's going to be so important. Let's see if 50 holds. There we go, taking out the most recent low of 51.50.
Yeah, and I don't want to misconstrue anything. I saw in the chat, I saw a few people rightfully mentioning, "Oh, Neil hates Intel." I don't hate Intel. I think I'm guilty of this. I'm pretty sure we are at least a little bit. I'm just a little bit more critical of stocks that I own, and you're more apt to feel certain ways about the stocks that I own. So we got to keep it real about Intel. And their prospects, and that this isn't necessarily the best of headlines. But to your point there, we seem to be still holding this level. Like there was a wath of selling that just came in, looking like it was going to break down to 51.50. It got defended again. But there is one thing that we haven't said. We've mentioned that the U.S. government has a stake. Well, the conference call will come at 5 o'clock. Right. The president, he's probably, I don't know if he's still in Air Force One, coming back from Davos. But my guess is there might be something to say about this. You might... Let's be real. We could actually have the president comment on what his thoughts are for the quarter for Intel and what the direction is, and that could end up mattering more than we think tomorrow morning. I'm not saying he's going to, but heck, they took a stake. It's been fantastic for them. Maybe there's something in there that he likes or doesn't like, and then we get to hear about it.
It's 90% to the upside since then, or off the lows since that announcement, so I think they've done pretty well, but you're not wrong. That definitely could be the case as soon as he gets wind. A couple other things just real quick. Capital One announcing it has agreed to acquire fintech Brex, privately held, I guess, for $5.15 billion. So COF picking up fintech company BREX for $5.15 billion. Also Clorox, this is kind of interesting. Clorox acquiring Purell, or the maker of Purell, which is Gojo Industry, for $2.25 billion. Says deal supports 3% to 5% long-term sales growth targets. I had no idea that Clorox didn't already own that. It seems like a J&J kind of a product, Purell, but That's kind of interesting for Clorox.
I'm making that face too because Gojo was the name of the company in Succession, so that's so funny. That's an actual company
That's
as well.
actually true. That's
yeah,
a good point.
100%. The second I heard that, that rang alarm bells for me. But I also, I saw the headline. I thought that was kind of funny. There's also the headline on the screen too as well. But Intel with those supply chain constraints, that's why they're guiding so low here for revenue and for EPS for the year. Again, I guess now there's some more execution concerns, right, with the Foundry. Though, as I did mention, Intel Foundry and data center and AI are the only areas where Intel's improving year over year. I just posted this. This is brand new. I've updated it. It's already on Exit TTV Research. So other products category dropping a staggering 48% year over year. And I am not joking. I triple read that because I was quite shocked by that. But client computing, again, up 9% year over year. Foundry improving. So the only issue here are the parts of the business. Sorry, not client computing. The data center is improving. Intel Foundry is improving. The more traditional sides of their business now seem to be lagging. So it's kind of interesting. I think they're just trying to find their footing still as they now have more pressure from President Trump, who, to kind of mention what Neil and Sean were saying about when and if Trump will comment on this, when Intel had that massive run with NVIDIA, they did, he posted that little AI image of himself trading Intel on his computer. So there is probably a chance he'll comment on this in some way. But I mean, we know that he can pump the market. He could maybe pump the stock as well.
Let's wait and see. It's worth noting, guys, CLX and COF both to the downside.
You're breaking. I'm gonna have to go soon. My phone just told me my car is at its desired temperature. Okay, nice. So here's a break. Just kidding around. Here's a break of $50, man. It looks like that we just bounced again off of 50 clean. So when that breaks, man, I think this is big time liquidated. Look, someone wrote down here, liquidated right there. Pretty soon you're gonna be seeing the U.S. government doing this. So that's part of the reason why I front run this earnings report. I have no idea where this is going to be tomorrow, but we did get out yesterday afternoon around that 53.50 area. So we'll save ourselves $3 as of now, but that doesn't mean anything. We're going to find out where this goes tomorrow. And look, man, let's not. We talked about prints on the midday and the after show there. Let's not let doves cry here. If this breaks back down below, that's 49. There's 45. This is where we were at the beginning of the week. I think this is a decent buy area. I said that already. 44 to 45. Get your notebook out for tomorrow, everybody. $44, $45 for Intel, and maybe we'll put some money back into this name. But 50 incoming, and I don't think the president will say anything about this, but if he does,
I just feel.
Oh boy.
I just feel like in this market right now, if there's a chance that the president can move a stock, then as a day trader, that on the day trading aspect of it, that ends up mattering more than anything else. It's just been proven time and time again. But as you said, the 50 is holding, which is hilarious. But one thing, the context of the move down just now, like keep in mind, this was holding about $1 higher at 51.50. And then we got the note about the supply constraints. So once we got the explanation for the poor revenue guide, the first reaction was to hit the bid. So it sold off on that, so the excuse is not liked. Obviously, that makes the call matter just even that much more because you're going to have to assuage some fears. So we're holding on for dear life. Apparently, Alcoa is out, so there are other earnings out there. I just want to see if 50 is going to hold. It's a very, very good defense. Right now, see, I can say some good things about Intel. It's a very good defense of the level that we are seeing. But Alcoa, I can remember when Alcoa used to be the beginning of earnings season, and it was like, once you got Alcoa, you were off to the races, and now no one seems to care about them as much.
Yeah, not as much. I mean, I'm actually a little bit surprised here, guys, with the volume behind Intel. Even there's not a heck of a lot going on. Dara, you have something else?
I do have something here at Intel that I want to mention because I'm seeing Christina Partsinevelos, who is a CNBC reporter. She's very much, in tune. She was actually at that GTC Washington event with Jensen Huang, so she knows what she's talking about. Apparently, she was told by CFO David Zisner of Intel that the company, or no one should expect the company to have any 14A Foundry customer announcements until the second half of 2026. The real signal that they start getting these announcements apparently is going to be increased CapEx on 14A. They're going to be holding back spending until they get customer commitment. She also quotes David Zisner here saying that, quote, when we get them, we're going to need to start spending capital. So interesting look there. Again, this is from CNBC reporter Christina Partsinevelos, who does have, the intel, no pun intended, to know what she's talking about here.
And that was one of the major, themes going into this report. I think that a lot of people, the data center side and the Foundry side, that a lot of people were looking for an update. So, I mean, it's a lot to do about not a heck of a lot right now, guys, as far as the chart says.
I think you just be patient with everything at this point, right? I mean, it's It's down to $50. It's down now. It was at 54, $55 today. So you're down about 10% from the highs, down about 5.5% here from where it was yesterday. I don't think that's a worry, man. We were up 11% yesterday. Like I said, let's not worry too much about it. The daily is very, very constructive. Yeah, nice low, nice low. We could dip again, make a base in and around here, which is why we're talking about the $40 level. And we might not be right selling it. I don't know, but we did put some money to work elsewhere, and we sold some Intel. So we're going to find out if that does make amends for this move down. But yeah, wondering about who their customers are and everything like that. You know, AMD's battled back nicely here, and the market seems to just chill out. It's funny because it's an 88% beat. On their EPS. They went from 8 cents to 15 cents. Yeah. So 88% beat on the quarter, and you're down 6%. So I don't know. Intel gonna have to find a base.
The crazy thing is it was normalizing back into profitability. We were saying coming into this, it was an 800 PE with the forward at 80. So you get a beat like this, that'll put you somewhere into the 40s. It's still at that point where it's like a metric that you're not paying as much attention to. But I feel like it's getting to the point where the next quarter, we can start talking about its multiple relative to some of its peers because it is normalizing out. The only customer I care about is when they can convince NVIDIA that they're doing a good enough job to get them as a customer. Because if we're being real, if they land NVIDIA, or if they so much as have NVIDIA say, hey, we're going back and looking at, because NVIDIA kind of pulled back from wanting them to have them fabricate some of their chips. And when NVIDIA did that, you still moved higher. But what's going to happen when NVIDIA says we're on board? I think that's when we get this. That's when we get this all-time high. I have the monthly chart up here. I think that's the point. NVIDIA has made an investment in them, not as big as the U.S. government, but they did. They put a few $1 billion in here. And when they can land that type of a customer, it's game over. Everyone that we keep seeing in the chat saying the stock can get to $100, well, I'll tell you what, that is literally, in my opinion, the only thing that gets it to $100 would be that. And if we're not going to hear about it till, as Adara just said, potentially second quarter of next year, well, I'll be patient trying to buy the dip on this one. Let's leave it at that.
Here's this little meme here tells it all. You know, Intel at 20, Intel at 50, everyone's going to be flooding this to the downside when it breaks 50. So that's the play that you're going to look for there. Yeah, just a key level, you know, $50. And I don't think this has $100 in it at all, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening there with Intel. Great day to trade. The SMH, I don't even think is moving on this news at all, but it's just, it's one individual stock. It keeps on going. And yeah, SMH pretty flat on this, Brendo. So not much going on now. It's just the SMH story, the Tesla story today was a good one as well. Tesla just broke 450 here in the after hours, so that's a good mover. That's up 4.5%. There goes Tesla higher here after we did also get ISRG. I'm just gonna, and then we'll throw it back and potentially wrap this thing up. ISRG up 3% there as well. And then Capital One also with their report that got hit pretty good, down 3.5%. So yeah, not a bad little earnings, not a little bit of earnings problems there today. What was that about the wallet?
It's in your wallet.
Oh, Capital One. Yeah. Was that the saying?
Is it?
We don't have Capital One. I don't see it.
It sounds familiar, but
it's in your wallet.
I don't know. Is that not Capital One? Maybe it's somebody else. If it's not, then it should be.
Yes.
For sure. But I want to throw. If we
out of my
throw
wallet.
This one up, I want to thank.
I think it is.
I do want to thank for the super chat here, Eric Vargas. Appreciate it. This is what it's all about here. We're back, and it's better than ever. And when there's major earnings, we're going to cover them, and we're just going to give the straight goods. You know, it's not about whether we like or don't like it. We're going to show you the price action. We're going to give you the numbers. We're going to give you the story, and we're going to cover it in real time as it's happening, including, you know, reactions like, hey, we went to the downside, TSM didn't budge, right? So that can be a good sign. Like the bleed down in Intel didn't necessarily infect Taiwan Semi. For now, which it probably shouldn't, because you know they're just a heck of a company that shouldn't have to float around because of Intel. But
look, end of the day, guys, we're giving back yesterday.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Could be a heck of a lot worse. I mean, it was pricing in 7%, I believe.
8% expected.
8%, yeah, possible move. So I mean,
I think that's about right now because it's down $4.
Yeah.
Off 50.
I mean, we're giving back yesterday. Like, given what this thing has done over the past couple of weeks here, this is, you know.
But tomorrow's trade today, if it doesn't break, Brendan, $50, slam that short tomorrow. Let's make our whole month.
You heard it here first. Just to recap real quick, guys, and then we'll call it a day. Supply constraints or potential supply constraints hitting not only the results, but the forecast going into Q1. for this year. So seems to be the reason that Intel is down. Again, 5 o'clock coming up, the conference call, if anyone's sticking around to listen to that. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts are, like I said, I find it really interesting because I said beforehand, I thought it'd be shocking if they actually had year-over-year growth in data center and Foundry. They do have year-over-year growth in both, but it's just the fact that it's going to take them so long to get those customers in Foundry, I think, is maybe the issue here. So ironically, the one thing we really needed Intel to do was not near enough to save the stock.
I mean, they had none.
They had
So
none.
realistically, they weren't just going to go poof, here's a whole bunch of customers.
But
right?
it's something, which is nice.
No,
too.
it's definitely good to have a timeline on this. Thoughts, guys, just before we get out of here?
No, you said it right there. Well, I mean, you're just trying to get that first customer through the door. That's why, like I said, like from the whole like pie in the sky 100 thing, like, something spectacular has to happen, like NVIDIA, which is not like we're not anywhere close to that. But I think the overall theme is, hey, it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Personally, I would have expected that this disappointment would have brought you through the 50. So the fact that it hasn't, there's your silver lining immediately right there.
What this reminds me of is just what happens every earnings season, right? I mean, you get a strong quarter, but then the guides are weak. So if this continues, I think this is a very, very bad sign for what's to come for the Nasdaq and big-time tech stocks because, we do know that there's supply constraints. We've talked about that with Micron. You see that those stocks kind of going crazy. We see the price of silver. We see the price of copper. All the parts associated with building is getting more and more expensive. So I could see forward guides being a hell of a lot weaker than expected, and Intel and Netflix both sort of showing us the way early here for some of these Mag 7 and what's to come for some of the this reporting season. But hey, man, it's been a great reporting season so far. There's been a couple good makes on this, and we'll see if Intel can sort of hold today. If it holds $50, then as Brandon and we've all keep on mentioning, that's just where we were yesterday.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's been moving so well.
Could be
this
a
is
lot
kind of to be expected.
Yeah,
So,
could be a lot worse. All right, we'll end it at that, guys. Again, 5 o'clock, the earnings call. A ton of earnings coming up next week in big tech as well. And again, the first taste from tech, essentially not necessarily a positive one, it would appear. Make sure you're back tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Michigan consumer sentiment, it's worth noting, coming out tomorrow at 10 o'clock as well. So could get some action as far as the market is concerned going into the weekend. Thank you as always, Ms. Adara. Guys, great day, great show. Great trading as well right across the board. We'll catch everyone tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Have a great night.
I guess. It is what